afternoon, college football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out College Edition, right here on NAIA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Here we go, y'all. We are starting things off today. We got so much to get into.
I'm excited because the show is back in business. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about
the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs.
Of course, the semifinals and the final. We've got a lot to talk about with the CCCAA. How about them RCC Tigers, baby? Also, we'll be talking about the NJCAA National Championship coming up next week. Lackawanna and Mississippi Gulf Coast. Also, we got the first round of the NAIA playoffs in the books. We have the first round of the NCAA Division III playoffs in the books, and of course, the first round of the NCAA Division II playoffs also in the books. We are getting ready for the start of the FCS playoffs, and well, we have rivalry week in Division I FBS as the college football playoff is getting ready to get set after the conference championships next week. I hope you're ready. It's going to be a good one. We got some special guests today, y'all. Some Corona Centennial players that I am honored to have on the show. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on NAIA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans, or shall I say college football fans. Here we go. We have ourselves an amazing show to get to today, y'all. I am telling you, first things first, want to, again, apologize for the brief hiatus, or for the hiatus pretty much throughout the entire season, but busyness, as you know, I repeat myself a million times. Masters, coaching football, playing football, working, all that good stuff came together, and I guess it was really tough for me this year, so my apologies, but we're back on it. We're good to go. Taryn and I are just in time for the college playoffs throughout all the divisions, and in the NAIA, all the divisions of the NCAA and the NAIA, of course, junior college football as well, and the big one, of course, the college football playoffs. We got lots to get into with that, as well as I know and I want to cover more, and we will cover more, okay? We definitely will cover more of around the country. However, we are, down here in Southern California, so Taryn over there in Orange County, me over here in the Inland Empire, so it's pretty cool that, we cover at least the state of California, or the southern section to be precise. But how neat is it that we actually have the number one team in the country, all right, coming up, or actually in the in our region of the world, or of the country. So how awesome is that, guys? Just saying. So today, I just want to say we got lots to get into today. My gosh, it has been awesome. I was actually in Wheelock, or at Wheelock Stadium last week. So excited for my Tigers. I think I used to play there, man. I'm so excited for my team. Coach Kraft is doing amazing things there. This team looks so good. They look so strong. And I'll tell you right now, it's been awesome. It has been absolutely awesome for these Tigers this year. We have not been to the playoffs or to the final in a while. It's been a couple of years since we've been there. Absolutely just destroyed Mount Sac. I mean, hey, they're a rival of ours. They destroyed us before. They knocked us out of the final before, the Southern final, that is. And a couple years back, I think it was 2014, if I recall, Jeff Gorham saying on the live broadcast, because I was also listening to that while I was there at the game on Saturday night. But we're excited. We'll be playing College of the Canyons for the final of the South, and then the winners, of course, of the North. It's going to be taking on each other will be San Mateo and Modesto, and the winners, well, we will face off in the state championship, or the national championship of the CCCAA. So super excited about that. Also, we got some other junior college to talk about. Other junior college football talk about, that is. In the NJCAA, as I mentioned earlier, Lackawanna and Mississippi Gulf Coast are going head-to-head. So many big-time D1 recruits coming out of these schools. It is so crazy. One has, I think, 4. The other one has 3. But, yeah, lots of and that's just in the top 50, according to ESPN, guys. So there's probably a lot more guys getting looked at by bigger colleges or by 4-year universities. So we're excited to take a brief look at that before we really get into it next week, because the national championship is next Thursday. on December 5th. And, of course, we have to jump into the first round of the NCAA Division 3 playoffs. It was pretty awesome first round, but a little bummed out that, our very own Redlands and Inland Empire was tossed out. Of course, Mary Hardin Baylor, the defending national champions, have been there a couple years. All right. They've been there, just saying a couple years in the national championship, once losing to Mount Union in the first year, and the next year defeating Mount Union. So, pretty sweet. They had a little past going on. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they knocked them out of the semifinal when they were on the same side of the bracket 3 years ago. So I think that's 3 years of facing off. But don't quote me on that. I think my brain's getting a little fuzzy there. My memory's getting a little fuzzy in that aspect. My apologies. But we'll get those stats for you in a little bit, or we'll get that for you in a little bit. Also, we've got to talk about the team who's still in it from the CIAC down here in Southern California. Chapman, man. The Chapman Panthers. I used to play against those guys when I was at ULV. So awesome stuff there for the Chapman Panthers. They're actually still in it, and they're on Taryn's neck of the woods in Orange County. So happy we still get a Southern California team in the Division 3 playoffs going forward. Division 2. We had a pretty awesome Division 2 start of the series. Or start of the playoffs. I looked at it a little bit, but I really got to get more. We got to get more into that, of course, this week. So we'll get into the first round there of the Division 2 playoffs. Also, the FCF playoffs were named this past week. We had selection Sunday, so we'll talk about that. I haven't even seen the brackets yet, so we'll take a look at the FCS playoffs. And then, of course, Division 1 Single A. Well, the college football playoff, the top 4 have been selected. We'll be talking about the first team out, and Taryn and I talked about that yesterday on The Defining Moment, and we pretty much, both agreed that it may not shift around too much this week. But we'll get into that and plenty more, y'all. And as I mentioned, we have very special guests joining us in just about 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. Really glad to have these two here on the show today. Once again, big shout out, y'all, to the Corona Smiths. Where's that applause button, y'all? That's right. We have joining us today 2 youngsters that have very promising futures from Centennial High School, the Evil Empire, if you will. I'll tell you what, Coach Logan, amazing coach. This guy has done amazing things with this school, and I just can't give enough props to what he's done in the entire booster club and everything, the entire program at Centennial High School. It's just awesome to think that, one of our very own, the Inland Empire, have come so far and have, become the football factory, So, they were big time when I was back in high school, and they're still big time now. So, we will, let's see here. We will have, of course, coming up in just a bit, 2 players. So excited to have them on here for tonight, or for today's show, that is. We'll have Aaron Smith. Look at this guy's highlights. He is amazing. He is probably one of the best receivers in the entire nation. This guy is absolutely awesome. And then we have Gary Bryant, number 1. He's also another receiver/safety, and he actually has been mentioned as an athlete, so sorry about that. It is both Aaron Smith, he is receiver/athlete, so that's his being recruited as, and then Gary Bryant, he is a receiver/safety, so these guys play both sides of the ball and pretty much probably wherever their coach needs them. So with that said, we'll be speaking with them momentarily, but before we get there, as I always say, all glory to God. That's right. Without God, nothing is possible. That's right, y'all. That's right. And, of course, big shout out to all of you out there listening, because y'all make us go, man. We are thankful. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. We're thankful for you listeners here at IA Sports Radio. We appreciate y'all so much, and couldn't appreciate y'all enough for being a part of this. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, introducing my co-host, man. He, of course, is a writer for The Pilot over there in Orange County. He is the host and founder and host of our professional/high school/college volleyball show here at IA Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, proud member of the IA Sports Radio family, and proud co-host of the Defining Moment and 3 and Out College Edition, and just all-around great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the one, the only, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, Taryn? How you doing today, brother?
Hello, college football fans. It is great to talk to you all again, and it's great to speak to you as well, Larry. I'm really looking forward to this episode of 3 and Out College Edition. And great show yesterday when it came to the 3 and Out Thanksgiving Edition.
Oh, thanks, man. Was that not a good one? Like, seriously, that was amazing. Like, that was amazing. Dude, how did you like Taryn versus Jelani Part 3?
It was bananas. We may need to bring Kylam onto the show again. We need to bring him on. We may need to bring him on for a quick segment once we get there.
Oh, dude, Kylam's amazing. He's, of course, a host here. It was, right before we had brought you on, he, we had little issues with the team and getting everything together, but it's okay. We kind of had to break things up a little bit, unfortunately, with time constraints and all that, but it's all good. He'll be coming back soon, but we got to, he's our basketball dude on the defining moment. We got to bring him in and talk some basketball. So there's lots to talk about with, with these guys coming forward. But Jelani, great guy. Got to mention the toy drive in a little bit that we'll be talking about, of course. But with that said, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we get back, we will be live on air once again with Mr. Aaron Smith and Mr. Gary Bryant of Centennial High School. This is going to be awesome. They were just knocked out of the CIF Division I semifinals. Bummer, but hey, they got beat by a pretty strong St. John Bosco team who will be playing Mater Dei in the Division I CIF Southern Section Championship or Final. That'll be coming up this week on Black Friday, or Friday if you will, if you're not a retail fan. I'm definitely not, but it's just the name of the thing, Friday. Anyway, with that said, that will be that, and when we get back, we'll be talking to those two young men with awesome futures in sight with their football careers. Once again, you're listening to the defining moment. You are listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring,
the international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Faces Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio, so come home, Get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running point, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, iesportsradio.com.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right, then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2LiveStewsRadio.com and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Welcome back, IE Sports Radio listeners out there, football fans all around the country. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in today, that is, and showing us some love. Well, as I said before the break, so I was a little lengthy. We had to get everything together, but we are here and ready to rock and roll. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond excited to have two young gentlemen here, or Taryn and I are both very excited to have two young gentlemen here who, like I said, have very bright football careers in front of them. How do I know that? Well, just watch the film. It speaks for itself. Ladies and gentlemen, very proud to have here for their first time, and hopefully many more times, even moving on into their futures of football, if they can make the time for us. I know these two gentlemen got a lot going on. They're busy guys, but glad we can have them here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming wide receiver / athlete and wide receiver / safety from Corona Centennial High School right here in the Inland Empire out of Corona, California. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Aaron Smith and Mr. Gary Bryant. Gentlemen, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a blessing. I appreciate it.
Hey, you gentlemen you're very welcome. It is a blessing to us as well. We love having big names here on the show. We get a lot of big names, but it's awesome when you can get, in my opinion, I love it the absolute most when we can get guys who are up and coming. The finished product is always awesome, but you know what? I've always been the dude who loves to talk to the guys who just have so much in front of them, and to me, you guys have plenty in front of you. I followed Centennial as I've been for the last couple of years, as I mentioned to you guys before. I played back in 2007 over here in Paris, so I'm not too far over here. Riverside is like our connector here in the middle, so we definitely, I know plenty about Centennial, play with a lot of guys from Centennial throughout my college career as well as into semi-pro, so I'm very familiar with Corona Centennial and with the absolute awesomeness that, you guys have there. as a program. Coach Logan is amazing. I even know one of the teachers there. I'm very close, actually, with one of the math teachers there at Centennial. So she's actually like slash mentor to me. So I'll tell you right now, this is a very fine institution. And I am, like I said, very honored to have you guys on today's show. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's start things off here. So we'll start off here with Mr. Aaron Smith. Dude, I was sent your film, man, and I'll tell you right now, watching you this year, you look nearly unstoppable, man. You ranked up plenty of yards this year. You looked absolutely awesome. So my question for you, man, is starting us off, what was your expectations? Of course, this is a very broad question, but going into this year, I mean, this is your senior year. Did you know off the bat, this is my all out year. This is my big time year. I got to be able to do as much as I possibly can. Going into this season, I just want to know, as a Division I school facing CIF, facing Division I, what was your overall mentality going into this season, knowing that you had to produce huge as a lion on a field of lions, as you may say?
Yeah, but honestly, Coach Logan, he makes us work so hard. He prepares us so well, and I just knew after all these years of work that I'd be prepared to go out here. So, I was just fired up and ready. I was like, this is my senior year at the time. It's time to just go out there and just take over, and I knew I could. And I was obviously, very excited to go out there, and I feel like I did a good job, and I feel like my film shows that. And, I'm just blessed to be able to go out here and, play with guys like Gary, Isaiah Young, Simon Hall, we play with straight ballers all the time, so, it's just the best. It's a blessing.
That is absolutely it. That beautiful answer. That's exactly the kind of question the kind of response that I was expecting. I would say a lot of the same stuff, man. So yes, I totally agree. Coach Logan is amazing. That guy, I've never got the chance to actually meet him, but I'm a huge fan of his work. That guy is awesome. Yes, the talent that you guys get put together every year is awesome, and I'm glad that you were able to play with these great players as well, man. I mean, it's incredible to think. I mean, I think I had spoke before, of course, with Booster Club and everything here on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, my old coach from RCC was actually Coach Chev, Coach Darren Cheverini. He played back in the 90s at Centennial, and just, you can tell, man, that place just produces winners, and he coaching me, it was just like a different type of coaching. It was amazing, man. So I completely agree with that. Alrighty, so next up, so you guys are both wide receivers. However, let's go on over to Gary now. So Gary, I gotta ask this, man. You, of course, playing both sides of the ball. Of course, I'm sure you do as well, Aaron. But of course, I got your receiver highlights. So with you playing both sides of the ball, I mean, were you at one point during this year doing Ironman, playing both? I mean, how were you utilized when it came to playing both sides of the ball? And if you had to pick one, man, what would you say that you would rather stay on? What side?
I feel like my natural position is receiver, but I played DB and youth football coming up, and I always had a natural talent for that as well. It's being an asset to the team and playing both ways to help my team win. Any shape I can do, I'll do it. So playing both sides of the ball was a thing that we needed, and I did it, and I feel like I did very good at it.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, I love that. Always willing to help your team. That's my kind of athlete, man. The kind of athlete that's just like, you know what? I don't care. If I got to return punts, if I got to kick the ball, I don't care what I got to do along from my main job, I'm going to go out there and ball. So beautiful question, man. Great stuff there. All right, Taryn. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Go ahead and ask a question to each of these gentlemen, and then we'll go ahead and continue on with the segment.
All right. So great to meet you, Aaron and Gary. So my first question for either of you is, who got you into football, and who do you look up to as an influence in regards to football? All right, I'll go first. My father, he played football at UCSB, and, every Sunday all throughout my childhood, I loved sports. So I would just go down with him on Sundays and just watch football for hours on hours. And as soon as I watched that, I fell in love with it. I bounced around playing, a bunch of other sports. I always tried to be as athletic as I could, run myself out well. So, honestly, my father was that figure, kind of put me into it and really kind of trained me and, gave me advice on how to play the game, throwing the ball around, and just then I just fell in love with the sport, and we've been rising in training and things like that, building ball. All right, very cool, very cool. Everyone has their start to a certain sport, and I'm glad you two fell in love with the sport, and you're doing what you're doing, and you were doing it big for Corona Centennial. And I'm happy for your influences. And all right, so the second question is for me is you playing in a division with teams like Mater Dei and St. John Bosco and Mission Viejo, to name a few. What's it like facing those teams? This is a question for either of you. It's a blessing, you know. Playing against top talent, you can't beat that. And, you know, we have a saying, to be the best, you got to be best. So playing against them and bringing up your talent, competing against them is more than that, you know. So it's a blessing to me. Yeah, honestly, I believe playing against the best brings out the best in you. So, you know, if you're really playing against the best day in and day out, you know, it's always going to push the best out of you. So, you know, especially these past few years at Centennial, you know, going against DBs like Gary, Jaden Williams, the forces need to become like a much better football player. All right, very nice, very nice. You know, and Corona Centennial is arguably one of the best California schools, if not one of the best. All right, this is the last question for you two. If you could offer some advice to incoming freshmen, no matter who they are, what advice can you give them going into if they want to play high school football? My biggest advice to them is, you know, keep your head on the right things, and you'll be successful. You know, everybody wants to have offers and 30 offers and things like that. You know, it starts hard. It's hard work. It's not going to come easy. So you really got to work for it and manifest your life into it, and everything will come true. Yeah, just like what Gary said, you got to put your life into it. It's not all about all the outside stuff, all the friends. You know, you just got to keep your circle small and just go out and work every day. I feel like that's the most important part, is all the hard work and dedication. You know, don't get caught up in other things. Just focus on family, and then just that. All right. Very, very great answers. Amazing answers. Thank you, you two.
Absolutely, gentlemen. You guys, listen, I love it. You guys are carrying yourselves, as humble young men, and that's exactly, like I said, that's exactly what I thought for sure. The type of answers and everything. So I'm loving it. And next up, I just got to ask. Okay, so Taryn took a good question right there, and I was definitely going to ask that same type of deal of playing at such a high level. But yeah, man, I mean, you're right here. You're right here in town. I mean, not too far away from myself. As I mentioned, Taryn is an Orange County product, so he keeps a close eye on Mater Dei because he's not too far from Mater Dei. But yeah, man, I mean, this year, you guys looked amazing. I mean, seriously, like, going into this year, I was riding the coattails. Unfortunately, man, I couldn't make it to any games. I'm bummed out. I mean, right now, doing my master's, and I was coaching myself this year at my old high school, and I had a season to play as well, so to keep it in shape, going to practice. So, unfortunately, there's just no way, and I was so bummed out that I could not get there to any games this year. But if I gotta ask a question for each of you, this time we'll flip-flop it. Gary, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Aaron. But you guys pick a game this year that was probably the most memorable game of your senior year. We all have that one game. I know I can definitely name my game from high school, but this isn't about me. I could even name my most memorable games from high school, from college, from junior college, and at university level. I can name all my memorable games, but I gotta know, man. You guys going out, of course. This is, the end of the line. I gotta know, man. What was the most memorable game for you? It could be because you had a really good game, or it could be that maybe you didn't have the best game, but your team had an amazing game. You did a couple things to help out. So you guys get the big picture. So we'll start with Gary. Let us know, man. What was your most memorable game of this past season for you?
I gotta say, last year, our first game against Olu, we were down at halftime. Everybody came in at halftime with a great mindset, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. They had power forward, and they had a great quarterback, pretty good defense that year. So just for us to come back and compete and come out winning games as a team and as an individual player, they had 3 players on me. Coach kept telling me, don't be frustrated. I finally got my hands on the ball and scored, had a big punt return to turn the game around for the team. So that little game was a good vibe for me, and I feel like that's a game that always stand out.
That's awesome, man. You got to love those comebacks. I mean, you got to love games like that where no matter what, you got to be able to. It's just a tooth and nail type of battle, and I love that, man. That's a great response. All right, Aaron, what about you, man? What was your most memorable game?
Honestly, I know it's kind of bad to say, but it was Cathedral Catholic. We actually took a loss by, a couple points that game, but I just remember our team coming together, and, we fought till the end, and, it was just, for me individually, I didn't really have too big of a game. I only got targeted a couple times, only had, catch for 10 yards, but I was just blocking and just doing everything I could to help my team. And, I feel like that's what's important, is I'm working with them. And, I know it's a tough loss, but I always remember us coming together at the end and, embracing and knowing that we're going to work and we're going to make it to, the CIF finals. We just tried as hard as we could, and we worked our butts off the whole season. And I feel like a lot of that stems from that loss and
Absolutely, man. That is awesome. That's two great memories for sure right there. Okay, so here's the toughie. This is always I know this is, you never want to be talked about or to usually after a tough loss. But unfortunately, we got to get to it. It's nothing crazy, but I just got to ask, man, this past Friday, you got to play against the number one recruit, of course, coming out of high school. And, I mean, that's, of course, DJ Uiagalelei. This guy is amazing. I mean, as I mentioned, he is a commit to Clemson. I mean, this dude is a very good quarterback. Of course, hey, you guys are a very good quarterback yourselves. But I'm just saying, you got to play against a heavily, high-ranked team. They were once number 2 on the year. I believe they dropped back to 3 or whatnot after they got beat by Mater Dei this year. But just going to ask, I know it was nasty. I hate anything that has to do with tough losses, but hey, man, you guys know me, of course, still as an athlete, you guys as young athletes with a lot in front of y'all. It's something, and of course, playing football your whole lives, I'm sure, or at least the last couple of years, you guys know it's all part of the game. Losses, just like injuries, unfortunately, are part of the game. They go along with the glory and the victories and everything. So, I gotta ask each of you, this past week, I know you kind of just want to, get out of your heads already, but I just got to ask, how was it playing in that semifinal game? I mean, one game away, but unfortunately things just didn't go the way you guys wanted them to go. But regardless, man, in a game like that, even in the time where you guys were, facing adversity, unfortunately, we're not able to overcome it. But I got to ask you both. This time we'll start with Aaron and then go. And after that, of course, we will move on. But I got to ask, man, both of you, gentlemen, how was that game in the semifinal? What was what were your emotions at the start, the middle, and even the end? So once again, we'll go with Aaron first, and then on over to Gary, and then we'll move on. But let us know, guys, what was your thoughts on that entire game? And now that you look at it in hindsight, I mean, I'm sure it made you guys better. So what do you guys got to say?
Honestly, Bosco, we would never liked them. We always played them all the time. So, emotions were already high. It was a game finally at our house. We finally won the coin toss to be able to play, and it was just crazy from the start. I was just blocking my butt off. We were just running routes and, doing our thing. And then I finally got a chance to get the ball, so I ran a post curl, caught it, broke the tackle. And I got about 30 yards of the field, and I didn't really know there was someone behind me. I got stripped from behind me. Obviously my message went from high to low. And I knew I kind of let my team down. And, after that, I just came in and just kept working. Coach thankfully gave me a chance, and I was able to make a good 25-yard catch, put us in the red zone. And honestly, for me, I believe that it's not the adversity you get put through. It's how you overcome it that really makes you a player. So, most of it went from, high to low. I was kind of down on the sidelines. Then, my teammates were there for me, and, they worked my way back to be able to play at the highest level I could. And, in the end, we lost. I feel like I learned a lot from that game.
Man, that is I felt you can feel the emotion, man, when you were talking. So I absolutely understand you in every moment. All right, Gary. So how about you, man?
Obviously, playing in the playoffs is always going to be a different mindset going in the game. And obviously, we had Bosco going in, and they have a great team, a great quarterback, a great receivers, a great defense. Everybody's recruiting the team. So going in, our hands are pretty much on straight, and we know that we have to come in and
have to play a great game, no mental mistakes. And I feel like as a team, we had a lot of mental mistakes. We turned the ball over a few times. But as you know, it's a running lesson. Football is always a running lesson. So in order to take a win, you got to know how to take a loss. So, just building character, that's the main thing that's in the game.
Hey, great stuff, man. I just got to tell you, even in that, even with that tough loss, you guys, man, where's that applause button, man? I know you guys can't hear it, but I hit the applause button for you. You guys had a performance. I mean, you guys played. There was nothing left on that field, man. When you guys left that field, there's no way you can hang your heads. You did everything you possibly could. This team does not quit. Centennial football does not quit. There is no quit in that program. You guys, I mean, I know you guys are both very, very intelligent young men. But I'll tell you, one word that you guys don't know is quit. I mean, seriously, it's a simple word that a lot of people can say that they know, but you guys have no idea what that word means. And honestly, I love that. And it just keeps me saying so many beautiful, positive things about, once again, the entire program. So, final question for you guys, and then that'll be it for the day. But I just got to ask, unless Karen wants to add anything else, but final question, man. Moving forward, I know you guys, of course, looking forward into your futures and wherever you guys would like to go. But moving forward, I mean, what do you feel right now? What is your mindset being, going from high school on to the next level? Let us know right now, what is it that you're doing? I mean, are you pouring it on? You guys just finished a tough season. Are you pouring it on with the training right now? Are you going super hard, going crazy, hitting the gym, hitting the weight room, hitting the field? Are you guys taking a tiny little break to heal up your bodies and then getting back on it? I mean, right now, with going to the next level, we won't get into, any talks of where y'all, are considering and none of that. Well, we will see that when it comes, when you guys make your decisions. But going on to the next level, knowing that there is a next level for you guys and that you guys are, both planning on going there. This time we'll start with Aaron and then move on to Gary. But just let us know, guys, what is it that you're doing right now? I mean, you're training, are you guys really turning it up? Is that more of next year, like 2020, second semester for you guys? I mean, what's the mindset and the mentality of that, as well as preparing yourself for college? Because you guys know college is not easy. I mean, of course, you guys, I'm sure, are great students, but at the next level of college, it's just more. It just adds more. There's classes. There's a lot more work. The work is heavier. On top of balancing that, and on top of playing at a high level in college, what's really your mindset? So it's kind of a two-part question. What are y'all doing right now to prepare for your athletic ability, and of course on top of that, for the next level, and on top of that, what is your mindset moving forward with the challenge of being an incoming freshman? So Aaron, we'll start with you, and then Gary, we will end on you.
All right, but for me, I'm just kind of, the season was really grueling, I think, on a lot of the Centennial players. We work our butts off during practice all the time, the games kind of kill us too, so I'm probably going to take, a week or two break and get my body right, because I feel like that's more of the most important things. And then, I'm going to obviously work as hard as I can, and being an incoming freshman, you have to have that kind of dog, and you have to do work. And I feel like that's going to be one of the hardest parts of being, just that young freshman. I feel like it's going to be just like being in high school. I have to go work, and it's just for now I'm going to rest and work my butt off.
Hey, great answer, man. That's exactly how I was coming out of high school. I know exactly what you mean. Gary, how about you, man?
We had a long season. Obviously going deep into the playoffs, your body's a little beat up, so I take a week off and then I get right back to the grind. I'm graduating early, so can't take too much time off, and I want to go into a college program, feeling healthy and knowing that my skill talent is up there with collegiate players.
Hey, great answer, and I know you guys are going to get right back to it, and it's a lot, man. It definitely is a lot, but you guys can definitely handle a lot playing for such an amazing program, and you two being such amazing athletes. So, with that said, Taryn, any last questions for these gentlemen before they head on out and get on with their days?
All right, so this is going to be one last question for both Aaron and Gary. What has been, this is probably going to be a tricky question, but what has been your most memorable moment at Corona Centennial? It could be off the field, it could be on the field. What has been your most memorable moment with Corona Centennial football?
I have to say my sophomore year, we played Pitt, it was my first game when they started varsity. We played Pitt, and they came out here from, I forgot where kids from. But they came out here, and, they were loud and, just talking at football players do. And I remember the team coming together the day before the game. We had like a little potluck, and the team came together and just bonding before the game. That was a big thing for me, my sophomore year, coming to play varsity for a very good program. Yeah, and for me it's kind of weird because my junior year against Pittsburgh, that's one of my first starts. I didn't start like Gary as a sophomore, but thankfully I got the chance to start against Pittsburgh. And individually, I had one of the best games I've ever had. I was just catching everything, and I was doing things on special teams, and it was just an amazing game for me. And I remember after the game, just talking with my friends, and they were like, "Yeah, you played like just something came inside of you. You let the nature beat you was going out." I always remember that game. And it was just really cool. It's really a great experience. I love that. All right, cool. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
That's awesome, man. I love the camaraderie, and that's a big part of football as well, and just being an athlete. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, once again, our audience, I guess, got to say that, of course, was two incredibly talented athletes from Corona Centennial. Once again, I just got to give a gigantic applause. Once again, the applause button has been hit. I know y'all can't hear it, but once again, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Smith and Gary Bryant of the Football Factory. That's right, because they make players there. Trust me. If you don't know, just watch some highlights or just get involved. You will see. Wherever you're listening to it, whatever you're listening, wherever you're tuning in to from around the country, trust me, take a look at Corona Centennial High School football. You will know. So with that said, gentlemen, any last things you'd like to say? Any shout-outs or anything? Really, anybody you want to thank? Anybody moving forward? Once again, we'd love to have you back on the show. Of course, anytime you'd like to pop in, man, we'd love to have y'all back on here. But for your first time on here, let us know, man. Let us know anybody you want to, say hello to or give a shout-out to or whatnot. The floor is yours, guys.
Yeah, shout out to God, once and foremost, I'm going to be here. And shout out to my family for supporting me and on the journey. And I thank you guys for having me on the radio podcast today. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, same with me, happy Thanksgiving. And, thank God for putting me in this position. And thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate you guys forever. And, thank you to my mom. She's my best friend, my number one supporter, and as well as my family. And also my best friend, Simon Hall. He's an incredible athlete, a hard worker, and, hopefully, colleges will get him a shot to go to the next level. You guys should check him out as well, number 18.
Hey, will do, and both you gentlemen, man, I love it. God first, that's right. Always, y'all the men upstairs. All glory to God. And hey, for all of our abilities to do what we do on and off the field. So I definitely agree with y'all. And gotta say, mad love, big shout out to you guys as well. Thank you so much for being on today's show. Happy Thanksgiving to both you and your families. God bless you and your families. And thank you once again so very much for being a part of today's show. You guys are absolutely awesome. We thank you so much for this. And hey, anytime you want to jump back on here, man, even just to talk some football, hey, we definitely love to have y'all back, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Anytime, gentlemen. God bless. Take care.
You too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. That will conclude our interview with, of course, the infamous, if you will, because I got to tell you right now, these guys are going places, and I'm so excited for them, man. Out of the infamous Football Factory, that is. Big shout out to Mr. Aaron Smith and Gary Bryant. We're going to take ourselves a short break, and when we actually let's give them one more applause, y'all, because they definitely earned that and deserve that. That's right, y'all. One more time, Aaron Smith and Gary Bryant out of the Football Factory. Awesome stuff. That's right, y'all. So, when we get back, we're going to jump right on in to those CIF Southern Section Division 1 finals. Give a little shout out to different schools around the area, of course, in all different divisions. And then we got to jump into some college, y'all. CCCAA action. RCC doing big things. Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of the alma mater, y'all. Anyway, with that said, that will be that. And we will jump on in to some more football right after this. You're listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people. Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight, and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday nights, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. and all we talk about is straight basketball. From where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in, and we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tie all the drama, tie all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Listen to Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it, y'all. Once again, big, gigantic, mega size, absolutely ginormous applause for Aaron Smith and Mr. Gary Bryant of Corona Centennial High School. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was awesome having those two young men on here. Those guys are... I love how they carry themselves, man. This is definitely some big-time talent right there, and they're just so humble. I mean, was that not awesome, Taryn?
Yeah, it's really amazing. You know, I pretty much want to say this. I'm sure we'll be seeing them in the NFL if they want to pursue that route.
Oh, yeah. Definitely we didn't want to ask any of those weird recruiting questions and stay away from all that nonsense. We just want to talk to them as football players and as young men, where it's none of our business to get up in none of that other stuff. And I don't even know if that's legal, but I wouldn't, we do want to get into that nonsense. But I'll tell you what, definitely wanted to talk to them as, players. And I am totally with you, Taryn. I think those two young gentlemen, and probably a lot of their teammates, are on their way, man, and definitely D1, big-time D1 schools, and they keep up that hard work. I think we'll be seeing them play on Sundays, Taryn, and maybe they'll even help out one of our teams one day.
Absolutely. The Raiders defense kind of needs a little bit of a touch-up. The Chargers defense needs to be better, so... Overall, who knows?
Yeah, defensively, those are two wide receivers right there. Of course, Bryant plays a little bit of safety as well. I think, I don't think, and he's listed as an athlete, so I'm sure he plays a lot of places.
Oh, well, offensively,
Aaron Smith. Yeah, Aaron Smith, I think, he probably plays a lot of different places, but yeah, man, overall, yeah, hey, I'll tell you what, they can come on over and help out my Raiders any given day, I'll tell you that. So, with that said, Taryn, I don't think you would mind if they'd come on and help out your guys' offense over there. But
yeah, potentially. If in case we have another one of those holdouts.
I'll tell you what, those two young men are amazing, and I'm just so blessed to have them both on the show. They are absolutely awesome, and I'm just very, very happy that they were able to join us today. And big shout out, by the way, to the Booster Club. That was his mother. But yeah, big shout out to them for arranging this with us here. So give them a follow, man. Show them some love. They're absolutely awesome. The Corona Smiths on Twitter, they're awesome people, and just the Booster Club, the Centennial Booster Club as well. Go give them a follow, show them some love. They're great people, and I'm just so excited for those young men moving forward, as well as the rest of the young men moving forward out of Centennial High School, as well as the program moving forward. I'm a big fan of Coach Logan's work, like I said, and though I have never got a chance to meet the guy, I know that he is, he just seems like such a good, humble man, and he works them hard. But Taryn, you know as well as I do, man, if you don't work hard, you're not going very many places. You know what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're not working hard, then you're hardly working.
Absolutely. So, all right, Taryn, let's move on in. We just talked to those two young gentlemen right there about the semifinal in CIF. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to tag team this together, and we're just going to go through the brackets real quick. As we know, of course, the semifinal, courtesy of MaxPreps.com, we're getting our source from here. So we have Mater Dei doing their thing. Bryce Young just patting his stats, man. This guy is amazing. Epps, that receiver there, Yetz, their running back. I mean, they are stacked at Mater Dei, and if they win this thing on Friday, there's no doubt in my mind they'll be the national champions this year of high school again. I know they've had plenty under their belt, and I think they were last year. Taryn, were they the national champs last year?
Yes,
okay.
And it was actually pretty close, because I don't remember. I believe it was a team from Texas that lost one of their final games of the season. I think they were in like some sort of championship match in Texas, and they lost their final game. So then that gave Mater Dei the national championship. Duncanville lost to Allen. Yeah.
You know, and Taryn, that's one thing I've always wanted to say. My boy Alexander Gaines, of course, he's part of the iSports.
I'm sorry, Allen lost to Duncanville. I'm sorry. Yeah, Allen, which was the number 1 ranked team after Mater Dei beat Bosco, lost to Duncanville, and then Mater Dei eventually became the national champion. Sorry to cut you off, Larry.
You're good, man. But yeah, as my boy Mr. Alexander Gaines and I said, I'm really kind of bummed, because we were just talking about this the other day on the phone. I'm really bummed because I wish there was an actual national championship game. Like, we should have that. Like the old school BCS used to be. Like, look, man, I remember there was a school from across the country in, out of New Jersey. I know Pierre also know who they are. They're in New Jersey covering high school football in New Jersey. But they came on over to play J. Sarah this year early in the year, and I remember seeing that. And, dude, like, if we can arrange that to happen in the regular season, then why can't we just add one more football game between number 1 and number 2 and have an actual national championship game? Like, I honestly think that would be awesome. I mean, I don't know how that would work, but I think that's how it would work. But I don't know. I mean, Taryn, wouldn't you like to see an actual championship game between 1 and 2 at the end of the year?
Yeah, it definitely would be beneficial. It would be really awesome considering, talented players like that and talented teams like that going against one another would be quite amazing. Especially with all this whole talk of this state is better than this state and this team is better than that team and all that. So, it would. Only one way to settle it is to settle it on the gridiron.
Why not? And I know this week, St. John Bosco's back to number 2. If they win this game, they will go on to, of course, they will knock off St. John Bosco. And on St. Francis Academy, I'm looking here at Max Preps. St. Francis Academy, they are actually the current number 3. And it's like, dude, if St. Francis wins their playoff, I know it's not CIF, but whichever they call their playoff, I mean, why couldn't we just arrange this game to be played? We have a number 1, and it could be, the week after, or a couple weeks after maybe even, or something like that. Like, I know it's a lot of football, and I know that may be unnecessary jet fuel, or whatever you want to call it, but they are out of Maryland, and they have been, like, they've been up there all season long. They only have 1 loss in the year. Why not? How cool would that be to see Mater Dei take on St. Francis Academy? Just one more, I mean, I don't know. I think that'll be awesome, Taryn, and I would really love for that to be something that would happen in the future, even though I'm not quite sure that would actually happen.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be tough. I'm not sure what the guidelines are, but I don't know if teams. I don't know. I think after this year, CIF isn't going to. I'm not 100% certain on this, but I don't know if CIF is going to let California teams travel out of state. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what I've been hearing.
Well, that's a bummer, but we'll see. But okay, well, with that said, Taryn, let's get on to the CIF section finals. Once again, we're both over here. Taryn's in Orange County. I'm in the IE and the Inland Empire. So, with that said, let's just roll on through these. So, we have here, and that's all courtesy of MaxPreps.com, even where I got my rankings from. Just Google MaxPreps National High School Rankings. But anyway, so let's get on over to the actual brackets. And as we know, Mater Dei defeated Mission Viejo 49-24, and St. John Bosco defeated Corona Centennial 52-14. The last time these two played, it was awesome. They had a very good football game. I know I've been saying it a million times over about me making goal line stand. I actually made goal line stand last Saturday. Unfortunately, it wouldn't go through for some reason, and it wouldn't load onto YouTube, which really irritated me. So I'm going to give it another try this week. So I actually have the recap of Week 8 that I will get into. Taryn, if you want to throw anything in for that recap of Week 8, I know it was a pretty big game. But they're going to be going head-to-head yet again at Cerritos College. Now it finally says it here, but Taryn knew that a couple days ago. But they're going head-to-head against the college that I know all too well. I played them 2 times in high school. Interestingly enough, both at RCC, so I never got a chance to play on their really cool field with their Blue Falcon on it. But they'll be going head-to-head on Cerritos, or at Cerritos College on Friday. So actually, it's not Friday. I thought it was on Friday, and it's not on Friday. It's actually on Saturday. So they'll be going head-to-head, and should be a pretty good game. Really excited for that. And should be a good one there. So, Taryn, is anything else you want to add for this game? If not, we'll roll on to Division 2. I know, Taryn, we talked about this. Alex and I were talking about this a couple days ago. Unfortunate news with San Clemente. We won't get into the reasons why some of these teams, there's actually another dispute later on in a division coming up. But we will settle that when we get there. Unfortunately, just sometimes things happen, and in this case for Division 2, we had a team move by forfeit, but we'll just keep it at that. We won't get into the reasons why or details or anything like that. But anyway, so anything you want to add before you roll on to Division 2, Taryn?
Okay, so yeah, this is probably the dream team, the dream matchup, which everyone wants. Mater Dei versus Bosco. Doesn't get much better than that. And tell you what, this could be a preview of Alabama versus San Clemente, or not San Clemente, Alabama versus Clemson in the national championship in college. Because, Bryce Young is going to Bama, and then Uiagalelei is going to Clemson. So those two could meet on the gridiron for years to come. So this could be one of those true rivalries between two quarterbacks.
That would be awesome, and yes, absolutely going to be an awesome matchup here on to Friday. But okay, so on to Division 2. What we got going on in Division 2, Taryn?
Okay, so the finals will consist of Sierra Canyon of Chatsworth versus Chaminade. So two schools from Los Angeles. That game will be played on Friday, and it'll be played at Chaminade.
Good old Chaminade.
Yeah, and it'll be played at 7:30. Most of these schools are going to be getting 7:30 start time. So did you want to start off with that matchup, or do you want me to get into my thoughts?
That's interesting. Well, we can, real quick and dirty. Okay, so Alex and I had a little discussion on this. We talked about the reasons of why there was the forfeit and everything. So we won't get into that here on air. But Alex asked me a really interesting question. And Taryn, I want to talk to this about you real quick, because Alex said, well, how do you feel if you were one of those guys, okay, if you played for Chaminade and you went on and you happened to win, do you really feel like you've won because you had to skip a game? It wasn't your fault, but you had to skip a game. Do you feel like you really earned it because you didn't get to play all of the games? And I answered with this. I looked at the bracket and I said, okay, well, Chaminade played Norco. I am right here in the IE, so I know a lot about the Norco Cougars. And especially, when I was in high school and everything, they were a powerhouse then. They're a powerhouse now. And Norco is a pretty stout, heavy team. They've always been, or at least from when I've known high school football, they've been. Okay, so Norco, they defeated Norco 46-44, and I'm guessing that they were on the road, so they beat them in Norco, because I can see that they're on the bottom. So Norco, they played there, or I don't know if they with their home or away, but regardless, then they played Upland Upland, didn't they win it all last year in Division II? Okay, you have the number one linebacker, Justin Flo, on that team. Of course, he's talked about all over the place. And can't wait to see where he ends up going. I think he's going to Clemson, but I would hope that he goes to USC. I saw his, on the website. I forgot what it was, the website, so I can set it as a source. But anyway, so I just saw, he had interest in USC, but I think he's, more into Clemson. But anyway, right here we see Chaminade. They defeated Upland by 1 point, 28-27. So, Taryn, they defeated two extremely top powerhouse schools. I mean, the rest of these schools are all pretty powerhouse themselves, but they defeated Norco 46-44 by 2 points. Then they defeated Upland 28-27 by 1 point. They defeated two powerhouse schools, okay, and one of them being the defending champions, CIF champions of Division II, or I don't know where they were last year, Upland, but they defeated them by a combined 3 points. Then they go on to where they would have played San Clemente, and, dude, they get an automatic pass on into the championship. I don't know who Sierra Canyon is, but Sierra Canyon definitely, they played Santa Margarita, and I know who Santa Margarita is, another powerhouse school. Also, Vista Marietta. Let's just say I know a couple things about them too, but being an IE native here, I know a thing or two about Vista Marietta and how strong that school is, and they also defeated them. Then they went on to defeat Rancho Cucamonga, and I know Rancho Cucamonga is also, being an IE native, a very tough powerhouse team. So Sierra Canyon's got to be pretty dang good to defeat those three teams. So my answer to Alex's question was no, you don't feel, if you win this game against Sierra Canyon, you don't feel like you didn't, you're missing something, or you didn't earn every bit of it, because the forfeit wasn't their fault. Forfeits happen. Of course, like I said, we will not get into the reason why there was a forfeit in that semifinal game. But dude, you defeated Upland again and Norco, two tough teams, and then you defeated Sierra Canyon, who this year beat Santa Margarita, Vista Marietta, and Rancho Cucamonga. Sorry, if you defeated Sierra Canyon, I think that's pretty fulfilled. So, Taryn, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually know a little bit about Sierra Canyon. For starters, they actually won CIF last year, and they won CIF I believe they won CIF in Division. Yeah, it was in Division 4. I think it was a couple years ago. I want to say they've won 3 CIF Southern Section championships in a row, or something like that. I remember in 2016 they won CIF in Division 4, and I think in last year, I want to say last year they won in Division 3, and then the year before they came close, or the year in the middle of those two, they won in Division 3. But, that would be pretty fulfilling if you ask me when it comes to Chaminade. Chaminade has proven, many people didn't really count Chaminade in as a potential finalist. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chaminade is a great team, but, I'm pretty sure if you asked me, if you told me that Chaminade was going to be in the finals, I wouldn't have believed you. But you have to give credit, and especially in that game against Upland, where Upland had a chance to tie the game, but they decided to go for 2, and Upland's 2-point conversion was snuffed out as it was a run option, and it was snuffed out by the Chaminade defense. So Chaminade is definitely deserves to be here. That's for sure. I'll tell you what, though. I kept seeing a lot on Twitter and a lot on social media saying Rancho Verde should have been in the semifinals, but CIF wouldn't let that fly. I don't know why, but they just decided to go with Chaminade going to the finals. So overall, it's just an interesting situation, and if you're Chaminade, you wonder, does this help you in terms of resting? But it also could help, but it also could hurt you in terms of rust. But either way, it should be a great final between Sierra Canyon and Chaminade.
Absolutely, Darren. So if you want to go ahead and give us your quick thoughts, or if that was your thoughts, then we'll move on. What you got to say, man? What you think?
So it's going to be very tough to beat Sierra Canyon. Sierra Canyon is just a dominant force. They've played a lot of tough teams this year. I think they've only have one loss on the season, if I believe that is correct, and And yeah, I honestly think Sierra Canyon will win this because they've been perennially good year in and year out, and they've moved up the division. And they're in Division 1 and 2, which is basically the highest division. Because this year they had the whole Division 1 and 2 thing where the top 8 teams automatically go to the Division 1 playoffs, and then everyone else gets dumped into a 16-team bracket in Division 2. Well, Division 1 is an 8-team bracket, whereas and they get a first-round bye. All those teams get a first-round bye, whereas Division 2 and below all have to play a first-round game, and it's a 16-team bracket. So, but for me, I think Sierra Canyon is going to win that game quite nicely. I'm sure Chaminade will give them a battle, but I've got the Trailblazers winning that one.
Alrighty, well, with that said, let's go ahead and moving on now into Division 3. Quick and dirty, Corona Del Mar. That's all you hear. This team is absolutely amazing. They defeated Santiago quite handily in the first round. Then they just handed it to Cajon. Cajon, we heard a lot about them. I'm an IE native once again, so I know they're a very good team. And by the way, just so you know, yes, Rancho Verde, I'm not too far from there as well. Another Inland Empire team. Bummed out they couldn't. I'm a big fan of Coach Duffy, and I really think he's probably the best, if not one of the best coaches in Southern California. That guy's absolutely amazing, and I would love to see him coach at the college level. But I'm just really bummed that they didn't move on as well. Is what it is. It was a good game versus the San Clemente. Regardless, like I said, the forfeit, we won't even get to that. But and even if Rancho would have gone, I mean, it would have been a good game to see Rancho Verde versus Chaminade. That would have been awesome. But regardless, is what it is. That's the water under the bridge. On to next season. But anyway, Corona Del Mar. I didn't even know their colors are awesome. I saw their colors, and they're like, that baby blue color is freaking sweet. So anyway, they went on and defeated Cajon pretty handily. Then they had a decent little game with Alemany, but unfortunately for Alemany, they just wouldn't get it. It would still be pretty lopsided. I mean, like I said here, okay, so Corona Del Mar 49-0 over Santiago. You have Corona Del Mar 42-14 over Cajon, and then 48-21 over Alemany. So they won pretty easily. Big shout to Coke Sweeney, man. My boy Richard Sweeney works with me, and he coached with me this year on the staff. He said Grace Brethren would probably end up making it to the final. I didn't even know who they were, but now I do know who they are because they kind of went off. They went off, all right. They defeated Westlake 42-38 in the first round. Good football game. Then they won another one by just a few points over Lawndale 33-31. Then they defeated a tough La Habra team 49-45, and now they're on to face Corona Del Mar at Newport Harbor, which I think our boy Taryn Rodriguez here would know a little bit about. But yeah, this is a good football game. It's on Friday. But honestly, guys, just looking at the scores, I don't know anything about a lot of these schools whatsoever, like player-wise or anything like that. But just looking at score-wise, Del Mar has eaten everybody for breakfast, and it's been nighttime. Okay, they've eaten them for breakfast for dinner. Okay, seriously, they've blown pretty much everybody out, or not blown everybody out, but they've won by pretty hefty margins. Grace Brethren, they've won, but it's been close. So just based off of that, I know it's kind of a poor thing to base it off of. I wish I knew a little bit more about these teams. But I'm going to go Corona Del Mar in this game. Regardless, it should be a pretty good fight, a pretty good little battle here. So anyway, so before we move on to Division 4, Taryn, got anything to add for this?
So let me tell you how good Corona Del Mar is. They are very good. They have a high potent offense, which consists of Ethan Garbers at quarterback, who's committed to Washington. And he's got a lot of weapons offensively, such as John Humphreys, who's committed to Stanford at wide receiver. Mark Redmond of a tight end who's committed to Washington as well. Bradley Schlom, who is arguably the most under-recruited player in California, debatably, and they have a really good attack. They have a really good offense. Grace Brethren, on the other hand, Grace Brethren's offense is basically just chew up the clock and it's a strong run game, and they have a very good offensive line. So, and it's a rematch of last year's Division 4 final between the Sea Kings and Grace Brethren. and Grace Brethren. So, overall, this is going to be an interesting matchup. And last year, Grace Brethren took down Corona Del Mar 26-14. I, too, have to go with the Sea Kings. They've basically blown the doors off of most people, off of most of these teams. And believe it or not, Chaminade is only one of few teams that have taken a lead on Corona Del Mar this year, the other being Newport Harbor in the Battle of the Bay game. But CDM kind of blew their doors off. So overall, I gotta pick Corona Del Mar. This is definitely theirs. As I said earlier in the season, it would be surprising to not see them win CIF. I think this is the year they get redemption over Grace Brethren. If Grace Brethren somehow pulls off the win, it wouldn't be surprising, but overall, they're just, I think the Sea Kings are just too much. This is debatably their best team in forever.
Okay, well, sounds pretty good. All right, Terry, let's move it on to Division 4. I know we got, it sucks. We only have an hour and 40 minutes to go in the show. We got to get through all of these brackets, so we got to make this a little snappy. We got to get through this, and then we got to get through all the colleges and then get on to Division 1. So we have so much to get through. I doubt we take another commercial on the day. But, so let's just chop these up as quickly as we possibly can, and then we'll just move it on through. So, Division 4, what we got, Taryn?
It's Loyola versus San Juan Hills. The game, contrary to popular beliefs, it will be at Loyola High School. It won't be at LA Valley College. It won't be at College of the Canyons. It'll be at Loyola High School. It's a great venue it can hold seating capacity of 4,500, I believe, on the visitor side and on the home side. So, basically, this is a very interesting matchup. San Juan Hills just upset Paramount, the top seed. Loyola has been on a little bit of a Cinderella story run. It's tough to pick between San Juan Hills and Loyola. Both these teams are quite evenly matched. They didn't really have their best league. Well, San Juan Hills had their best league play, but they didn't really beat that strong of a league, being the Seaview League. Loyola played in the Mission League, which has Alamany, and I think it has Bishop Amat. Overall, it's tough. I'm going to pick Loyola for this one. I got to go with Loyola. I think it'll be Loyola in a close one. I mean, San Juan Hills does have Joey Hobart, but I think him alone cannot take down Loyola.
Looking at this bracket, hey, Chaparral made it, yay! I know them, they're in the IE, but yeah, they didn't go very far. They were just the first round, they lost to Hart. But yeah, Loyola, you can see, they've been historically good. I know nothing about San Juan Hills, so honestly, I don't know much about either of these teams, but judging off, once again, the scores and everything, I'm just going to go with history, at least from what I know. Loyola's been a pretty good football program for, at least from when I was in high school, so I'm going to pick them, but should be a good little battle here. Who did you have again, Taryn?
I had Loyola in a close one. It's tough to pick, considering both these teams are somewhat evenly matched. They both have very good defenses, so I kind of had to go with Loyola, and because home field advantage is key. Don't get me wrong, I think San Juan Hills is a very good team. I think the Cubs are more battle-tested.
Okay, sounds pretty good. On to Division 4, we have the semifinal here of
Division 5.
Oh, sorry, Division 5. We have Culver City and St. Paul. St. Paul would actually win that one 14-10, and Glendora would fall to Aquinas 24-21. Here we are now, Black Friday, 7 p.m. start here. St. Paul will be taking on Aquinas. I, once again, know nothing about these teams, but I do know that these scores right here look pretty convincing. Aquinas looking pretty good, 20-7 over Oak Hills in the first round. Second round, they defeated Oxnard 26-21. Then they would defeat Glendora 24-21. Then they Culver City 34-6 over Bishop Diego in the first round. The second round, 62-35 Chino Hills. I know a thing or two about Chino Hills, tiny bit, but Culver City would then lose to St. Paul. I'm sorry, I know why I went to Culver City, but St. Paul, they defeated El Modena 38-0.
El Modena.
Was that?
El Modena.
Yeah, El Modena. So next up we have here St. Paul. 28-16 over Yorba Linda, and then we have here that victory over Culver City. So this looks like this team actually has had a very good tournament so far. Besides that first game, that was a total blowout. they have had some, you can say they faced some kind of adversity, at least in these games. Maybe not total adversity, but they know what it's like to, get a hard-fought battle. They just blow everybody out. So, honestly, looking at both these two teams, they look very evenly matched from my point of view. Honestly, I don't even know who to pick for a winner in this one. This could be I think it can go either way. What do you think, Taryn?
I'm definitely going with St. Paul. St. Paul has just had a phenomenal season this year. I want to say this is St. Paul's best team in school history, in my opinion. They've had some good wins, and even a very good win over Los Alamitos in non-league play. So, even though they're 11-2, St. Paul has had some decent victories, and they even beat the number 1 seed, Culver City. So, overall, and eventually when they held them to only 10 points on the road, too. Woof. So I definitely got to go with St. Paul for this one. It should be a good one, but I got St. Paul winning this one by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, and then I'll go with the safe pick there, St. Paul, because I don't know much about these teams. So, all right, so on to Division 6. What we got, Taryn?
All right, Division 6 is between Pacifica of Oxnard versus Lucerna. I've heard some good things about Lucerna. I've heard some pretty good things about Lucerna, and this division's been all over the place. With Crespi losing, with Ayala, the top seed, losing in the quarterfinals, and then Crespi, the team that beat Ayala, losing in the semifinals. So this is a very interesting team. I gotta go with Lucerna for this one. I've heard so many good things about Lucerna and their overall gameplay. I'm picking Lucerna.
Lucerna sounds like a good safe pick, and yeah, man, I don't know much about these teams, but sounds like a little, nice little pick there. Next up, let's get on to Division number 7. We have Serrano, which I remember facing them in track and field, or seeing them at an invitational, but their colors are freaking sweet. They have that baby blue color as well, but they will, Serrano will fall to Cyprus 26-21. Cyprus will move on to face, and I am so happy because, yes, I know these guys very well. Temecula Valley, TVHS, the Golden Bears, will defeat West Ranch 31-28. Looks like Temecula Valley had an interesting match. They knocked off Valencia. That is no easy task. At least when I was back in high school, Valencia, they had the quarterback Herrick. I remember that guy. That was amazing. I remember playing them in passing league at Bonita High School. But anyway, Temecula Valley, man, awesome stuff here. They 38-0 in the first round versus Valencia. Then they will defeat Carter by 1 point, 21-20. Then they defeat West Ranch 31-28. So close stuff there. Cyprus, man, they will start things off over Huntington Beach 35-8. Then they will defeat Ventura 33-31, and then they will go on to defeat Serrano 21-20 or 26-21. Overall, I got to be the homer, guys. I cannot not be the homer. I don't know much about Cyprus. I'm sure they're a good team, but I am so for TVHS in this game. I want the Golden Bears to pull this thing off. I'm being totally biased here, but you know what? I had a good friend of mine wrestle for them back in 2003, a long time ago. But once again, I remember just a lot about Temecula. Very good football team here. I think one of my coaches actually that I used to have as a former coach, Coach Marita. He actually used to coach me back at Paris, and I think he's actually at TVHS right now, and they are in this. So I think I even have ties to this game through a coaching, so, through me being an athlete being coached by one of these coaches. I think he's the offensive coordinator, but I just got to go TVHS through and through. They're a good football team. I have a good friend of mine, like I said, the dude who used to wrestle there, his little brother played there a couple of years ago, graduated from there, but they follow this very quick here, so shout out to the Zavala family, awesome people, and yeah, I just got to go TVHS all the way in this game. Darren, what you got?
So Cyprus, pulled off an impressive victory over Serrano. One player you definitely got to watch for when it comes to Cyprus is Isaac Hurtado. He is a beast of a running back. He is basically Marshawn Lynch / Mark Ingram / Alvin Kamara / Christian McCaffrey / you get the point. Isaac Hurtado is just a straight up baller for Cyprus, and I'm gonna pick Cyprus for this game. They're definitely one of the more dominant teams. This is debatably Cyprus's best team in school history. I think this Cyprus team has what it takes to hang with Temecula Valley, and the game's going to be at Western High School. Cypress doesn't really have a home field. I think that's getting renovated. I don't know, but it will be at Western High School. But overall, I got Cypress win this one. I expect a big game from Isaac Hurtado.
All right, well, there you go, Terrence. You versus me, brother. What's up, man? I like that. So, all right, well, I'm taking TVXH, you're taking Cypress. Let's hope this game pans out well. Hopefully we can live stream it or something. That'll be awesome. So, all right, Terrence, on to Division 8. Who you got?
It's Sunny Hills versus Santa Barbara. The game will be played at Santa Barbara High School, and yes, Sunny Hills had a big win in the semifinals over Trabuco Hills. It was actually the second meeting between those two teams, as Sunny Hills won the first meeting as well. This time the game was played at Trabuco Hills, and even though I picked Trabuco Hills to win that one, Sunny Hills once again proved me wrong. And and as for Santa Barbara being the number 2 seed, they managed to cruise past Palmdale on the road. So Sunny Hills is going to be taking quite a bit of a drive up to Santa Barbara. So, this one's going to be an interesting game. It also could depend on location, and Sunny Hills is a great quarterback, Luke Bruxbury, who is just been playing out of this world at quarterback. And Sunny Hills is from the very tough, and I forget what this league is called. It's the same league with La Habra. I think it's called the Empire League. I'm not sure, but Sunny Hills has been battle tested. And I go with Sunny Hills for this one.
Alrighty, sounds good. And this one, man, Taryn is a little close with this Division 9 for a reason. But unfortunately, his team wouldn't get there. But I gotta say, big ups to both North and Highland for getting there. North will defeat San Dimas 14-0. And Highland would knock off Taryn's very sentimental, if you will, team, Newport Harbor 58-17. All out domination. Taryn, you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I'm just going to be real here. It was just not Newport Harbor's night. I don't know if it had to do with the weather, which pretty much dipped into like the low 40s and high 30s, or I don't know if it had to do with playing on the road, but I just think Newport Harbor had no semifinals experience whatsoever, and Highland, having played in the semifinals last year, had all the experience and the home crowd on their side, and everything was just there for them, and Newport just cannot get it going. They were down 22-3 after the first quarter, and they were also down 34-10 at halftime. The Sailors did show up, and they managed to make it 34-17 at one point in the third quarter. Then they got all the way down to the 1-yard line close to the end of the third quarter, but they came away with no points. They eventually, on a first and goal at the 1-yard line, they had 3 tries to get into the end zone. They lost 8 yards, which is very disappointing, if you ask me, especially when you have a very good running back being Justin McCord. I don't know if Highland knew that, or if they just didn't want to risk passing on the 1-yard line. But either way, it was just not Newport Harbor's best game, and they had multiple chances of trying to take back the lead in that third quarter, but it just didn't fly. So overall, it wasn't a disappointing season, but especially with most of those players coming back. But honestly, it would have been great to see Newport in the finals, because the game would have been at Newport had Newport and North made the final. But that's not the case. As for the final in Division 9, I'm going with Highland. They're too. Playing up in Palmdale and playing at with those temperatures, it's tough to take down a tough team like Highland.
I agree. Both these teams beat everybody by a good amount of points, but I think Highland, especially coming from Palmdale, this could be a very, very good football game, and I'm going to take them. So, Division 10, what do you got, Taryn?
It's Crescentia Valley versus Simi Valley, the Battle of the Valleys. Simi Valley is 10-3, while Crescentia Valley is 13-0. I got Crescentia Valley winning this one, despite Simi Valley being the little engine that could. So, even though Crescentia Valley is going to be on the road, Crescentia Valley is playing its best football. They took down a very tough Catella team, and Catella, being not meeting everyone's expectations this year, had themselves a promising season this year, even though most people counted them out, and they were moved up to a higher division from Division 13, I believe, to Division 10. So overall, I got Crescentia Valley winning this one.
Sounds good. Next up, we have, where we at? Division 11. My gosh, we're already up here. We have Muir taking on Marina. And honestly, Taryn, I know nothing about these schools. The only thing I do know about these schools is who they beat. Linfield Christian. We actually, the Southern California Warriors, in our opening year, it was our first year as a franchise 2 years ago, and we actually played at Linfield Christian High School. I scored my first touchdown ever on that field, Taryn. So it was awesome, and that was a beautiful high school over there in Temecula. It's right next door to TVHS. And dude, this school, Linfield Christian, was just, I didn't know they were this good. Well, Muir knocked them off 34 to 29. And Hemet, I know all too well Hemet. I played them for 4 freaking years of my life back when I was playing at Paris. Hemet they've always been a pretty dang good school. And, well, Marina knocked them off 27 to 7. So, looks like a good little battle, right? I mean, I like this. Let's see here. They knocked off Laguna Hills 42 to 8. They knocked off Ontario Christian 24 to 21, and then they would knock off Hemet 27 to 7. So no blowouts, but they look pretty good there. That was Marina. Then on to Muir. They go on here to defeat Brentwood School 21 to 6. And then they would defeat Chaffey. Yeah, I know Chaffey. We scrimmaged them back when I was in high school. I know about the college, so we played them. But they would defeat the Tigers 23 to 8. And then they knock off Linfield Christian 39 to 29. So they defeated 2 schools that I know a little bit of. Linfield, I know they're a pretty dang good school. And Hemet, well, those are pretty good as well. Regardless, I honestly don't even know who I'm going to pick in here. The game's in Westminster, so out towards your way. But just based off the fact that I think Linfield Christian was, at least from what I heard about them, was a pretty dang good school. And I don't know, I really do feel that it would be a very close game, but just based off of who they beat, no diss on Hemet, but I'm gonna go Muir in a close game. What do you think, Taryn?
Yeah, I think Muir is kind of the safe bet. This is Marina's best team in quite some time, with Eric Church at quarterback and Pharaoh Rush at running back, and big ups to Jeff Turley, who's turned Marina around quite a bit. Marina struggled in the Sunset League, and eventually they snapped their long losing streak in the Sunset League, and then eventually they got moved into the Big Four League, I want to say, and this year they actually won the league title, and Marina actually is making their first finals appearance in school history when it comes to football. So I gotta go with Muir, though. I think Muir is just going to be too much for the Vikings, just a little too much, But Marina is going to get a couple players back from injuries, so that'll be crucial. So we'll see how it goes. So
okay, sounds good there. All right, so Taryn, on to Division 12. We're almost finished here.
Okay, so Division 12. I don't know what to say, but El Monte is actually the champion.
Applause button. Yeah, El Monte.
Long story short, Adelanto and Orange Vista both got disqualified. I'm not going to talk about how they got disqualified. El Monte is your champion. The end.
The end. And you know what? Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes, like I said, disqualifications happen. It is what it is. It's life, whatever. But hey, whatever. I mean, but El Monte, great job, man. They got this done. Cool. Good job for them. And sweet.
And stop hating on El Monte, everybody. Stop saying that they don't deserve it because they didn't play anyone. Give them their props and just move on with life. Build a bridge and get over it.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to call Kylam Reynolds over here to talk to you, to debate you.
You don't want that.
They will roast you like hot gumbo on a 90-degree sunny day.
Absolutely. Dude, thank you. Where's the applause button for Taryn, man? Yes. You don't want Kylam. Kylam's the last thing y'all want, man. Gumbo all day. Saints gumbo to be exact. Man, faith and trials make a Christian, helping hands, loving hearts make the world a better place. Kylam Reynolds, y'all. That guy's amazing. We gotta get back. He'll be back on the show soon. But anyway, Taryn, there is a specific reason why I'm so jazzed over Division 13. Can you explain to me why I'm so jazzed up about this place? About this division?
It's Ramona versus Esperanza.
Yes, it is! And Taryn, are you familiar with where Ramona is?
Riverside?
Yes. And are you familiar with where Cal Baptist is, Taryn?
Riverside?
And I'll say something. Ramona and Cal Baptists are literally like down the street from each other. On top of that, I grew up knowing some great people from Ramona High School. On top of that, Jeff Gorham, great guy that I know, the color commentator for UCR, attended Ramona High School back in his day. On top of that, Ramona High School, back when I was in high school, was terrible. Dude, they had 0-10 seasons. They were anything but good. They were absolute crap. They were trash. They just weren't, and it sucks. But, I mean, sucks for them. Back when I was at RCC, I knew some great guys from Ramona High School that I played with. But I'll tell you what, man, this team is completely turned around. I am so excited for this team. They defeated Alhambra 28-24. Then we had Esperanza defeating Inglewood 42-41. Overall, Ramona is playing on Saturday versus Esperanza for the Division 13 CIF title. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even care. Applause button for them even getting this far, knowing how bad they were, and now they're playing for a CIF title, ladies and gentlemen. The Ramona Rams. I'm sorry, Esperanza. I had a cousin coach wrestling like almost 20 years ago. It was back when I was in high school. Okay, like my freshman year. Okay, so it's like, yeah, well, not 20 years ago, but well over about 15, somewhere right around there. Regardless, guys. Yeah, nothing against Esperanza. I know they're, I think, an Orange County team. Sorry, Taryn, but dude, this is too close to home for me. These guys, I'm so proud of this school, and I'm going Ramona Rams all day. I'm sorry, I'm biased again, but Taryn, what you got?
Yeah, I gotta go with Ramona as well, considering, Esperanza, believe it or not, Esperanza actually finished, Esperanza has improved their quite a bit, last year they had no playoffs. This year they are in the playoffs. I believe they went like 6-1 going into league play, and then unfortunately they went 0-3 in the North Hills League. Yeah, they lost all 3 games, all 3 league games. But believe it or not, they actually got into the playoffs. Esperanza made the playoffs, which kind of irked a few people. But overall, Esperanza has turned its season around for the most part, but I will say that it's going to be the Ramona Rowdy Rams taking this one.
The Ramona Rowdy Rams. Got a little Kyle Busch in them, huh? I like that. But with that, is that awesome?
That's actually their student section name, yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's freaking sweet. Taryn, where's the game? Where's the game at? I'm going to go look.
It's going to be at Ramona.
It's at Ramona?
I want to say it is, unless they don't have a home field. Ramona is the designated home team.
Oh my gosh, because they have a home field. Taryn, I think I'm gonna go, dude. I don't even care. Like, they're right down. I think I might want to go to this. I don't even care. Dude, this is awesome. This is so freaking cool. I mean, I want to see if Jeff Gorham is going, dude. I will sit next to him. I don't even care. This is awesome, man. I'm so excited for these Rams. So let's do this, guys. So anyway, Taryn, off to Division 14, final division. We won't get into the 8-man football. Sorry, guys, but let's just get into the Division 14 and then get on, because we only have an hour and 17 minutes, and we have 7 divisions of football to get through in college. So yeah.
Okay, so it's basically going to be St. Pius / St. Matthias against South. Yeah, versus South Torrance. The game will be at South Torrance. Yeah, this one is kind of interesting. South Torrance barely made the playoffs, but has been on a bit of a playoff tear as of late, especially when especially when they played such a complete game against Loera. I gotta go with St. Pius.
That works. I remember Loera is actually over there. Sorry, Coach Bob, but Loera is actually in Anaheim, right?
Yes, Loera is in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing. I remember. I knew a girl from there. I think it was a good friend of one of my cousins. I think he dated her. But yeah, I remember hanging out over there by that school one time over there in Anaheim. Went to the block and everything. But really nice high school. I just liked the high school. That was a really nice looking high school.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyway, Ben. So my bad. But all right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is that for high school. We spent almost 2 hours on. Of course, we had two awesome young men, Aaron Smith and of course Gary. Of course, I'll tell you what, man, those two guys were awesome. I mean, I gotta say it one more time, man. That was so awesome to have those two, Gary Bryant and Aaron Smith, on today's show. But anyway, with that said, let's get on over now to some. Actually, you know what, Taryn? Let's take ourselves a quick break. Here, how about this, Taryn? I got this. How about this? Are you down for something crazy today? Are you down to be a little crazy and spontaneous?
Of course.
Here we go, Taryn. So the show's going to run the full 3. We already know that. It's going to run 3 hours. So here's what we're going to do, Taryn. We're literally going to take a 10-minute break. In that 10 minutes, we're going to gather all the things we need. And Taryn, we're going to have an hour and a half literally to blitz through the CCCAA, talk briefly on the NJCAA, get through the NAIA, get through Division 3, Division 2, FCS, and talk about the college football playoff, and include rivalry week this week. So many big games. We're going to do that all at 100 miles per hour in an hour and a half with no breaks. Taryn, are you ready?
Of course.
Oh, it's going to be great. We will see you on the other side of this break. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all. That'll be right back with an hour and 5-minute blitz of college football right after this.
Good evening, sports fans. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing you yet another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of The Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Phil Robinson here at IE Sports Radio, taking this moment to welcome you to storm down the lane on the Fast Break Show with me and my man Phil Jones right now.
Hey everybody, it's the host of the fastest show on IE Sports Radio, Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take a lap of the extra mile with me and my co-hosts Lolita Camillo, Caitlin Seam, and Michael Ward as we go through all of the news and updates in NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, and more. That's the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, lovelies. Caitlin Seam here, host of Not What It Seems, where nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. On IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Two Wheels Wednesday with Matt White, taking you inside the pit lane of British Superbike, World Superbike, and the big one, MotoGP.
Hey everyone, this is Felicia, the First Lady of IE Sports Radio and one of your esteemed co-hosts of Ring Rambling Radio, along with Martine Sandoval and Matt Petrushka, for all of your wrestling news and talk, from everything from WWE to Ring of Honor, All Elite Wrestling, New Japan, anything you like. Be sure to catch us right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hey there, hockey fans. This is Cal Henderson
with Nico Green.
And we are welcoming you to join us on the Neutral Zone, presented by IE Sports Radio throughout the hockey season.
Buddy, let me tell you, hockey's never been hotter, and neither has the Neutral Zone.
You definitely don't want to miss it, so tune into youtube.com, IE Sports Radio, or IESportsRadio.com for all things that are hockey.
Hey everyone, this your boy Phil Jones, co-host of the Unfiltered Truth with Phil Robinson III. Every Monday, 3:30, 6:30, and Tuesday, 5:30, 8:30. On IE Sports Radio, we're here to give you guys nothing but Raider news, breakdowns of both sides of the game, and interviews with active and former players and NFL analysts. Because we are here to give you nothing but the unfiltered truth. We want you guys to get the real stuff. So join us every Monday night and Tuesday night on IE Sports Radio.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry, inviting you to join myself, Callum Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head primetime face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
You love racing, and we love racing. So join myself, Lolita Canelo, with my co-hosts, Daryl Kinsey Jr., Caitlin C., and Michael Ward as we talk racing on the Extra Mile here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on the IE Sports Radio Network, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Oh yeah, if you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of WWE, if you're a fan of all elite wrestling, if you're a fan of the sport of professional wrestling, you're in the right place. Hello, I am the SoCal Saint, Martin Sandoval, coming to you live with Ring Rambling Radio, along with the First Lady of IE Sports Radio, Felicia, and my good brother, Matt Petrushka. It's Ring Rambling Radio, part of IE Sports Radio. Dig it!
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Are you a big fan of baseball? Well, then join us every Tuesday on the International Empire Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Brandon Buckingham. I have my co-host, Karen Rodriguez, and Blake Henley. Join me every week when we will discuss the latest in sports. See you then.
What's up, IE Sports Radio family? This is John Felipe, one half of the Brothers Blue, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. You can catch me on any one of those shows, on 3 and Out, on The Brothers Blue on YouTube, as well as IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Warning, warning. The following opinions are not sanctioned by IE Sports Radio. The truth is a beautiful thing. We would never twist it, nor will it ever be sugar-coated, so prepare yourself. I'm Phil Robinson, he's Phil Jones, and this is The Unfiltered Truth.
Hello, this is Michael Ward from The Extra Mile, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, IE Sports Radio family, this your boy, Mr. Gumbo himself, Caleb Fat Mac Reynolds. What up? You know I'm part of the Defining Moment NBA segment and also 3 and Out. Holla at your boy from the Big Easy all the way to your front door. This is IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back and in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio, so come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. Because we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
This is your Bautista, the Kurt Man. You can catch me each month alongside Vince Wright, sports governor of Minnesota, talking boxing on IE Sports Radio.
Hello, sports fans. This is Mike Pat, co-host of 3 and Out NFL Edition, editor of the IE Sports Radio blog, diehard Redskins fan, alumni of the Florida State University, and all-around sports fanatic. Come check out my stuff and more on IE Sports Radio, your feed for all that is sports.
Hey, this your boy Phil Jones, also the host of the Fast Break Show, with Phil Robinson III joining me as my sidekick as always. Look, we come at you guys every Friday night at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Look, we give you guys all the latest NBA news from NCAA as well and the WNBA. We also let you guys know pregame, injuries, whatever you need to know for basketball, for your fantasy league as well. So look, y'all tune in for the Fast Break Show every Friday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio. Y'all take care.
What's good, everybody? My name is Taryn Rodriguez, co-host for Bases Loaded. You can catch me, Brandon Buckingham, and Blake Henley on Bases Loaded at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on IE Sports Radio. It's sure to be a grand slam.
This is Matt Petrushko, one half of the Good Brothers of Ring Ramblin' Radio, with Martine Sandoval and Felicia Ruizrager, and you can catch us each month talking everything wrestling right here on IE Sports Radio, your home for all that is sports.
Do you love college football? And do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS. Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That's right, y'all. That's exactly what you're listening to right now. 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Man, this has been a show. I mean, Taryn, this has been an awesome show, dude. I've enjoyed the crap out of this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
This has been great, dude. So we are going to blitz. We're going to freaking blitz right now. And if anybody loves blitzing, it's linebackers and defensive ends. And wouldn't you know, I played both. So let's get on into it, y'all. Here we go. So, with that said, here we go, Taryn. Oh my gosh. I got so crazy. I need a drink of water. Okay, Taryn. We got an hour, 4 minutes, and 35 seconds. Let's do this. Alright, so, starting things off in the CCCAA this last past weekend, my beloved RCC Tigers, can we get a hand clap? I think we shall. Thank you, Taryn. I hear hands clapping over there. We have the first blowout of the season. Oh, sorry, they've had plenty of blowouts. First shutout of the season. I was there at Wheelock Stadium at the field I used to play on. It was awesome! 48-0. Nothing the Mounties could do. Riverside will move on to take on the winner. Well, it's not the winner. It was an amazing game, guys. Saddleback and Canyons, I just saw the score, but the box score, they're like fourth quarter, they went off. They scored like 20-some points apiece in the fourth quarter, and Saddleback couldn't grip it. It was such a close game. I'll get more into that in my goal and stand video, but my gosh. Saddleback was amazing. They did the absolute best, but calls of the Canyons, man, those Cougars got it done. Now the Cougars will come all the way from Santa Clarita, and roll on down to Wheelock Stadium. I will be in attendance. Oh my gosh, Terry, I just thought about that. Gosh darn it. RCC and Ramona play on the same day and they're right down the street from each other. Oh, this sucks. Well, we're trying. I gotta be there for RCC. I played there, but I try and keep tabs on Ramona. But anyway, this Saturday, Wheelock Stadium, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. Let's go Tigers! And the winner of that, of course, we had the Northern Finals up in NorCal. Fresno City, San Mateo, number 1 in the country, in California, would defeat Fresno 21-0. And Modesto would knock off American River 35-28, which means Modesto will play San Mateo, and the winner of that game will go on to face whoever wins out of RCC, which I hope it's my beloved Tigers, and College of the Canyons in the state or the national championship in the CCCAA. Taryn, quick and dirty thoughts, man. What you think?
I'm going with Riverside to beat Canyons, and I'm going with San Mateo to beat Modesto.
I am very proud of you, thank you. I'm so excited, man. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm ready for this. I would love to see Riverside play for a title. And man, I just want them to win this thing. Please. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for this, but that will be that. Also, we already have a national championship ready to play next week. Next week, Taryn, we'll get way more into this. Dude, there are so many recruits, guys going a lot of different places, but number 2, Lackawanna, will play number 1, Mississippi Gulf Coast. Mississippi Gulf Coast, man, they got it done this year. They won they actually won the MGCCC, the MACJC. Dude, Mississippi Gulf Coast has 3 guys going to Division I, at least in the top 50, according to ESPN. They got 3 guys: Hayden Burton, offensive tackle; Tylen Jones, defensive tackle; and Trey Lawson, defensive end. They are all going, man. Burton has committed to South Alabama. Jones has also committed to South Alabama, and Lawson has committed to Hale State, man, to Mississippi State. Then you have Lackawanna, which is awesome because, dude, they have 4 guys in the top 50 going. Norval Black, wide receiver, going to Penn State. Also going to Penn State, Jair Brown, safety. They have Reggie Marks going to UMass, and Feldarius Payne going to NC State. Taryn, this game has so many freaking big-time recruits in it. How do you like that?
Yeah, it's tough to predict a winner. I mean, I was going to pick Lackawanna to win, and then I'm looking at the stats, and it's like, it might be Mississippi Gulf Coast. So I'm going to go with the safe pick and pick Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Alrighty.
But it should be a close one.
They should be. Taryn, next week when we're back on air, I mean, this game is not until next week, so we will talk way more about this in depth when we have more on it and everything. But for right now, yeah, I'm going to go with the safe pick. I want to say Lackawanna so bad. Next week, I might change my mind. I don't know. They have 4 guys.
Same.
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go Mississippi Gulf Coast right now, but next week, Taryn, when we get back to this, we're gonna make our official pick. So, next up, on to Division 3, NCAA Division 3 bracket. First things first, let's just get this out of the way. Taryn, out of the CIAC this year, can we just please acknowledge that there were 2 teams? Usually we only get 1 team and they're out in the first round. Taryn, I can't remember the last time a CIAC team got to the second round. Of course, I haven't been following it that long, but I can't, from at least the couple years that I was knowing, and I played at Laverne, I'll tell you right now, this team, alright, these teams from the CIAC, we haven't gone very far. Well, guess what? Now, we have a team, unfortunately, one will get fizzled out from the IE, but the other one from Orange County, they're still going. Ladies and gentlemen, can we just please get a hand clap for getting there and at least getting to the second round? Redlands and Chapman College. That's right, y'all. We just got to give big ups. I mean, that's awesome, man. I'm so proud of these Southern California teams, and just knowing that they can even get there. I mean, this is very special, and really, I just think it's awesome that I just think it's awesome that these 2 teams got there, and it's amazing, man. So with that said, alright, let's get on into the bracket. We're just going to run through this, guys. I'd love to spend more time on it. Of course, we're going to do that throughout the weeks, but we're just going to go first round right now. So, top left-hand bracket. We have here Mary Hardin Baylor. They would defeat Redlands 43-14 pretty handedly. Huntingdon, not Huntingdon with a D. Huntingdon would defeat Barry 27-24. Wisconsin Whitewater, we know that team a little bit. They were actually in the championship a couple years back. Actually, in the 2000s, they were all over it. They would defeat Monmouth, Illinois, 35-10, and then Wartburg would defeat Hope 41-3. This next week is going to be Mary Hardin Baylor versus Huntingdon, and then Wisconsin Whitewater versus Wartburg coming up on Saturday. In the bottom left-hand bracket, we have here Wheaton, Illinois, defeating Martin Luther 51-7. Central, out of Iowa, defeating Wisconsin Oshkosh. They were also a team that used to battle Mount Union in the 2000s, or a little bit earlier than that, or a little bit later than that, somewhere in there. Somewhere in the 2000s, anyway. Don't know if that was in the 90s or 2000s. I think it was in the 2000s. But anyway, Central would defeat Wisconsin Oshkosh 38-37 in overtime. My gosh, what a game. Chapman will knock off Linfield. Linfield's up north, actually, in Oregon, I believe. But yeah, I remember before I got to Laverne, actually played them before we started playing Whitworth, before they started playing Whitworth. But okay, Chapman will defeat Linfield 38-65 in 3 overtimes. My gosh, those Panthers can fight. What a game. And then St. John's, Minnesota, would defeat Aurora 51-47. So next up we have Wheaton, Illinois, taking on Central Iowa, and Chapman taking on St. John's, Minnesota. So really excited for that. Next up here, top right bracket, Salisbury defeated Suny, or SUNY, Maritime 83-0. Union, New York would defeat CWRU 24-21. Muhlenberg, I remember seeing them from last year. They actually were the tournament, I believe, last year as well, or they were one of the top teams. Defeated MIT 38-0. Brockport, awesome story. I think it was our first year ever being a program. Last year or 2 years ago, I think. And they made it all the way to the Final Four of this tournament. They were knocked out by either Mount Union or Very Hardin Baylor, one of those schools. I know they've been playing the last 3 years, I think, something like that. But anyway, Brockport, amazing story. I think that's a story, but if it's not, my apologies. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was, something like that. But they will defeat Western New England 33-28. So next week we have Salisbury taking on Union, New York, and Muhlenberg taking on Brockport. And in the bottom right bracket, Mount Union, surprise, 64. Sorry, Hanover. They would defeat. Same thing kind of with Redlands. I mean, I think it's a collision course, Mount Union and Mary Hardin Baylor again. But anyway, Mount Union 65-14 over Hanover. North Central Illinois 51-15 over Wabash. Wesley will defeat Framingham State 58-21, and Delaware Valley would defeat Bridgewater, Virginia 30-22. And next round we have Mount Union taking on North Central Illinois, and Wesley taking on Delaware Valley. Taryn, what are your thoughts, man?
So I actually was surprised that Hope lost that big against Wartburg. Because remember, this is the same Hope team that beat Trine 51-0, and that had that one voter give Trine a top 25 vote, despite getting blown out by that score. But overall, I thought it was going to be more of a battle between Wartburg and Hope. But Wartburg is proving that they're the real deal, and I think they and Mary Hardin Baylor can make it to the semifinals in that bracket. I've got Wheaton in the semifinals. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping Chapman can outdo St. John's, but I wouldn't put money on it, but one can only hope. And then, I'll go with Mount Union and Delaware Valley, and then I'll go with, give me Muhlenberg over Brockport, and then give me Salisbury over Union.
Awesome. I'm going to say Chapman all day, even though I know they're probably not going to win. But I would love to see Chapman. Dude, fingers crossed, man. I'm on the Chapman wagon right now. Like, I am so for Chapman. I am so for Chapman right now. I don't even care. It's Chapman time. All right? I couldn't stand them when I was at Laverne, but I don't care. Represent the Southern California, dude. I mean, I'm all about that. So, yeah, I am so for Chapman right now. I really want this team to win. And, I think it'd be awesome. So, in the top left, though, I'm going to go Mary Hardin Baylor over Huntington and Wisconsin Whitewater over Wartburg. And then I'm going to go, I don't know either much about these two teams here, but Wheaton and Illinois. Central Iowa should be a good face-off here. I don't know. I'm just going to say Central Iowa. And then I'm going to go Chapman for sure, but I don't know how that's going to work out. Top right-hand corner, I'm going to say Salisbury over Union and Muhlenberg. I want to say Brockport over Muhlenberg. Why? Because of that awesome story that I think that was really true. But I don't know. I remember 2 years ago when I was on this show, that was one of a story kind of like with Brockport. But I'll research that more and get back to you next week. Then we have Mount Union over North Central Illinois, or at least I have Mount Union over North Central Illinois, and I'm going to go Delaware Valley over Wesley. So there we go for right now. All right, Taryn. So that's our little look there. Next week we'll continue. Like I said, we will continue on, guys, with with bringing you the bracket updates and everything. Taryn and I will probably be all over Twitter and everything coming up this weekend. We've got both busy schedules and everything, but we will be all over it with with, talking this weekend about football and everything, especially with these, smaller schools and everything. So, all right, with that said, time to get on to the bracket for Division II. Top left-hand corner. By the way, this is all courtesy of the NCAA.com. So let's take a look over here and get on in to the Division II bracket. All right, so once again, courtesy of the NCAA website, NCAA.com. So, waiting for it to load up. Here we go. All right, so next up, we have Shepherd that would defeat the number 4 seed Indiana, Pennsylvania, 31-27. Number 2, Kutztown would defeat Tiffin, 33-31. Number 3, Notre Dame, Ohio. They went actually to the Final Four last year, I think. They would defeat Westchester, 31-24. That's a top bracket. After that, we have number 1, Slippery Rock. Hey, I forgot what player it was. Came out of Slippery Rock that played in the Senior Bowl last year. He went somewhere. I forgot. Wow, who was that? Okay. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time. We got a lot to get through. So, anyway. Number 1, Slippery Rock will defeat Shepherd. I'm not going to say defeat, but yeah, so we got Slippery Rock, number 1, Slippery Rock versus Shepherd, and then number 2, Kutztown versus number 3, Notre Dame, Ohio. Yeah. Notre Dame, Ohio. Yeah, got it. Okay, so next up, bottom left-hand corner, West Florida, a team who also has a really cool story. It was their first year ever being a program, and they got all the way to the freaking final where they would play, as I mentioned last week, Texas A&M Commerce. They got all the way to the finals. Their first year ever being a program. The Argonauts fought tooth and nail. Taryn, it came down to a 4th down throw. The receiver jumped up. It would have been a first down. They had a little bit more time on the clock. They were marching. Taryn, the ball goes through the air and right to the receiver, and it goes right through his hands, dude. And it was a 4th down, and it was over. Texas A&M Commerce took a knee, and game over. Taryn, is that a heartbreaker?
Yeah, definitely a heartbreaker.
Oh my gosh, I felt for the Argonauts. I felt for the kid who dropped the ball. I mean, that was painful. But I gotta tell you right now, man, West Florida, they're back at it. But they're taking on Valdosta State. And Valdosta State are the number 1 ranked team in the bottom left-hand corner, bottom left bracket, and they are also the defending champions. So, anyway, West Florida, I mean, hey, I really want to see the Argonauts pull this upset off. But Valdosta State, they're just good. So anyway, West Florida will defeat number 4 Wingate 38-17. Number 2 Lenore Ryan will defeat Miles 36-7. Carson Newman will defeat number 3 Bowie State. My bad, Daryl Kinsey Jr. He is an alum of Bowie State, but they'll fall to Carson Newman, and there you go. So the number 1 Valdosta State will take on West Florida, and number 2 Lenore Ryan will take on Carson Newman. Top right hand bracket once again, all courtesy of NCAA.com. I'm getting my sources from here. We have number 4, Central Missouri. They will defeat University of Indy, 33, or University of Indianapolis, 37-32. We have Lindenwood, Missouri, defeating Ouachita Baptist, number 2, by the way, in the top right-hand corner. Ouachita Baptist, 41-38. Then we have a team who I think won it all a couple years ago, or they were in the championship a couple years ago. It was awesome in the championship. I remember seeing a couple years back. They had in red letters on the back of their jerseys, family. That was the coolest thing. I think they're the Bearcats. I forgot what they were. But anyway, Northwest Missouri State, they would defeat Harding 7-6. Harding was a team that was in the Final Four, I think, last year or 2 years ago. So these are 2 very good schools going head-to-head. Very good defensive game. I love it, 7-6. They will move on. So in the top right-hand bracket, number 1, Ferris State. Shout out to Ms. Caitlin Seam. She didn't go there, but she grew up right there next to Ferris State, so she's been all over. She even mentioned them on her show, I think. Not what it seems. So number 1, Ferris State will take on number 4, Central Missouri, and Lindenwood will take on number 3, Northwest Missouri State. And in the top right-hand corner, we have number 4, Colorado St. Pueblo, defeating Augustina, South Dakota, 17-0. Texas A&M Commerce, I talked about them already. The team with the quarterback who didn't even play high school football. I think he was a bowler. He was from San Diego, and he just went over there, I don't know how he got over there, got a scholarship or something like that, but he played there, and guess what, guys? He played there. And, he played, and he actually was he won the national championship 2 years ago with Texas A&M Commerce, the Lions, and I think his last name was Perez, and dude even got the Best Player of the Year award in Division II, so that was pretty awesome. They would knock off Tarleton State. If you guys know who EJ Speed is for the Indianapolis Colts, he plays for the Indianapolis Colts, and he came from Tarleton State. Tarleton State is a very good school. Well, Texas Commerce would knock off number 2 Tarleton State, 23-16 to move on. Then we have number 3 Colorado School of Mines defeating Sioux Falls 24-21, and number 1 Minnesota State will now take on number 4 Colorado State Pueblo, and Texas A&M Commerce, the defending champions from 2 years ago, will take on number 3 Colorado School of Mines. Taryn, what you got, man?
So for my picks when it comes to this bracket, I got Slippery Rock beating Shepherd, Notre Dame beating Kutztown. I really want West Florida to win. I'll say Valdosta State in a close one. Then Lenoir-Rhine over Carson Newman. Then for the right-hand bracket, I've got Ferris State being Central Michigan or Central Missouri. And I'm going to pick Lindenwood to take down Northwest Missouri. And then last but not least, I'll take Colorado State Pueblo over Minnesota State. And then I'll also take Texas A&M Commerce over Colorado School of Mines. Okay. I'm going upset heavy here.
I like that, Taryn. You're the upsetter today. I like that. I'm going to say Slippery Rock over Shepherd and Kutztown over I'm going to go Notre Dame, Ohio over Kutztown. Why? Because Notre Dame's awesome. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm an SC fan, but whatever. I gotta, I'm Catholic, so I gotta shout out to them. Not that they are. I'm just saying the Notre Dame and South Bend is. So whatever. But they're blue. So I don't know much about these teams. So anyway, number 1, Valdosta State. I don't want... this sucks because I have nothing against Valdosta State. The defending champions, they're a good school. But you know what, dude? I'm going to go with West Florida, the Argonauts, man. It's probably not going to go their way, but gosh darn it, I want them to win it. So I'm going to pick them, all right? And then I'm going to go Lenoir-Rhine over Carson Newman. After that, you know what? No, I'm going to go Carson Newman over Lenoir-Rhine. No particular reason, just because I'm going upsets with Taryn. Next up, we have number 1 Ferris State and number 4 Central Missouri. For you, Caitlin, I'm taking Ferris State. I almost said Fresno State. Ferris State. And then I'm going to go number 3 Northwest State, Northeast Missouri State over Lindenwood, Missouri. And then in the bottom right bracket, I'm going to go number 1 Minnesota State over Colorado State Pueblo. And I'm going to go Texas Commerce. Right with you, man. I like the upset. Texas A&M Commerce over Colorado School of Mines. And there we go. So, alrighty, we're doing pretty good time here. Got to get to the last bracket. Actually, you know what, Taryn? I totally forgot about the NAIA. We got to get to the NAIA. So, let me get on over there real quick. We have the first week actually already in the books. And it was a good one. Honestly, it was a very good first round. So let's get on over there real quick to that bracket, and after that, we will, we'll get through this thing real fast. So let's see here. Okay, so I had actually on our Instagram account. So I'm gonna get on over there real quick. It's courtesy of NAIA.com where I got my sources from for this. But okay, so over here to the NAIA, we had it's 16 teams. So we have Morningside, the defending champions from last year, defeating Dickinson State 57-14. Marion, the team that would knock off St. Francis 2 years in a row now. St. Francis won the national championship 2 years in a row from 16-17. Last year, Morningside won in 2018. Well, the team that knocked off the team that knocked off from St. Francis in the regular season, now 2 years in a row, Marion got it done. They defeated Reinhardt 17-7. After that, we had Kansas Wesleyan. Don't forget about this school, Tara. Remember Kansas Wesleyan, the team that held, a couple of different teams? They won 3, I forgot how it was, but 3 weeks in a row or something like that, or 3 times for that season. They actually freaking, what did they do? They held 2 teams they held a couple teams under negative yards rushing. That's incredible. And they also won by 90. Remember that team, Darren? Kansas Wesleyan?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, they played Wesleyan. They played Baker, and they defeated them 42-7. Then we have Grandview defeating Concordia 31-30. On the other side of the bracket here, we have College of Colorado defeating Ottawa 73-23. Lindsey Wilson defeating St. Francis. No, there goes St. Francis. They were going to try and redeem themselves. Dang it, it's all right. Lindsey Wilson's a good school, so they defeat them 30-26. Cumberland's defeat Kaiser 28-24, and St. Xavier defeats Northwestern 25-21. This coming week, we have Morningside versus Marion. Kansas Wesleyan versus Grandview. That's on one side. The other side, we have College of Colorado taking on Lindsey Wilson, and Cumberland's taking on St. Xavier. What you think, Taryn?
So for these picks, I got Morningside beating St. Xavier. I'm going to go with Marion beating Cumberland's just because that's my grandma's name. God bless her.
That's awesome.
I'm going with tough one between Lindsey Wilson and Kansas Wesleyan. I'm going to go with Lindsey Wilson in a close one, and I'm picking College of Idaho over Grandview.
That seems like it's pretty legit. I'm gonna go Grandview. Why? Because I'm gonna go Colorado. College of Idaho. It's a pretty good school there. Definitely Morningside over St. Xavier. For your reason, I'm gonna go Cumberland. That's awesome, man. Over Marion. So I will take your same. I'm gonna mimic Taryn. What was the last game?
I picked College of Idaho over Grandview.
That's right, over Grandview. Then we have Morningside versus St. Xavier. Right.
Yes.
And then Marion was Cumberland's, right?
Yeah, Marion over Cumberland's. I had Marion over...
Okay, Marion. Okay, I'm going to go Marion as well. That's awesome, man. So, yeah, rest in peace to your grandmother. But that's awesome, dude.
No, she's still alive.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude. You didn't say that. I'm sorry. Well,
yeah, I said she's still 98 years young.
Dude, that's awesome. That is... Can we get an applause, man? That is awesome, man. Dude, if you make it that long, you're awesome. You make it anywhere that long. That's awesome stuff, man. So, well, hey, she's still with us. Well, then, many more years to her. That'd be awesome. So,
yes.
Super down with that, man. That's awesome. So, all right, so that's the NAIA for right now. Now we're going to get into the FCS. That's kind of cool. Usually we would go NAIA first before Division III because it's not a part of the NCAA. But it's kind of cool. I mean, it's its own, it's its own association, athletic association or collegiate athletic association. But pretty cool because it's actually comparable to Division II. And I think some of those schools play Division II schools, if I'm not mistaken. I think some of them do. But anyway, so let's get on over now to the FCS because, dude, I haven't even seen this bracket yet. I have not seen the FCS football bracket at all. Selection Sunday was just here, and I have yet to see the bracket. So, I'm getting over there right now. Here it is. I found it on, let's see here. Where is it at? On NCAA.com, and I think... Did I get it? Is this it? Oh, well, look at that crap. Hey... I mean, here it is, but I want the actual bracket. There we go. All right, I got it. I was like, come on now. All righty, so once again, courtesy of NCAA.com, you can count on this bracket, on this website. Awesome stuff here. So, as we know, the Frisco Bowl, or of course, as they say, or East in Frisco, Texas. Who will be playing in that thing this year? We shall find out. So, all right. Will we have... I had to load up real quick. So, we have Nicholas State. This is the first round, guys. So, Nicholas State taking on North Dakota. The winner of that will go on to take number one North Dakota State. Will they win? I mean, besides that one loss to JMU a couple of years ago, this would be like 8 or 9 straight or something like that. If they would have won the national championship in that year. But can they do it again this year? We shall see. Nicholas, I think it's like 2 or 3 straight if they would have won this year. I think this might be 3 straight if they win this year. But anyway, Nicholas State and North Dakota. The winner goes to take on North Dakota State. Number 1 in the bracket over there in that bracket. And I'm pretty sure on the country. North Dakota State at the FCS level. Southeast Missouri State will be taking on Illinois State. And then the winner of that will go on to take on number 8 Central Arkansas. After that, we have on the bottom, that was top left-hand corner of the bracket. Now on the bottom left-hand corner, we have Albany and New York, and they'll be taking on Central Connecticut State. And then we have Austin Peay will be taking on Furman. So whoever wins Albany, New York, or Central Connecticut State, they'll be taking on number 5 Montana, coming off of a huge victory over their rivals, the Montana Grizzlies. That should be pretty sweet. And then we have Austin Peay taking on Furman. The winner will take on number 4, Sacramento State. Oh, the Jackets up north. Anyway, then we have I think the Yellow Jackets are the Wasp or something like that. I forgot what they are. But top right hand, we have Monmouth taking on Holy Cross. The winner of them will go on to take on, as I just mentioned, the Dukes of JMU. And then UNI, the Panthers of Northern Iowa, will be taking on San Diego. Hey, the Toreros. I think that's who they are, right, Darren? The Toreros?
Yes, the Toreros.
Toreros. All right. Well, they'll be taking on the winner. The winner of them will be taking on the Jacks of South Dakota State. That's the top right-hand bracket. Then we have the bottom right-hand bracket. So, what is it? Southeastern Louisiana will be taking on Villanova. The winner of that will take on the number 6 Montana Grizzlies, as we just mentioned. And Wofford will be taking on Kennesaw State, and they will be taking on number 3 Weber State. Taryn, what you got, man?
So I'm
who you got?
Pretty much going to take North Dakota State to win the whole thing, but I've got, unfortunately, I'll take North Dakota over Nicholas State, Illinois State over South Missouri State, Albany over Central Connecticut, Austin Peay over Furman. Looking over to the right-hand bracket, I'm going to take Monmouth over Holy Cross, San Diego over Northern Idaho or Iowa?
Iowa. Mm-hmm.
Iowa. Yeah, I always get that school messed up. Villanova over Southeast Louisiana, I believe it was. And then I'll take Kennesaw State over Wofford.
Good picks, man. Okay, so I'm going to say the same thing. I think North Dakota State is going to do it again. But we have Nicholls State. I'm going to say North Dakota over Nicholls State. Then I'm going to go with the Redbirds of Illinois State over Southeast State. Then we got, after that, let's see here. After that, we have Albany. I'm going to say Albany over Central Connecticut State. And then Austin Peay or Austin Peay, I believe is how you say it. Furman over Furman. That's how you say it, right? P or Pay? Is it P?
I think it's P.
Austin Peay. Okay. P. And then we have Monmouth. I'm gonna take Holy Cross over Monmouth, and I'm gonna say the Toreros too, man. I'm gonna take them over UNI. And then I'm gonna say Villanova over Southeastern Louisiana, and I'm gonna go Wofford over Kennesaw State. So, alright, so we'll see how our picks stand next week. But other than that, we have concluded with all of the lower tier colleges, and let's get on into some Division I FBS. We only got 35 minutes, so we're going to make this snappy. Alright, Taryn, so as we talked, that was all courtesy of NCAA.com, where we got our sources from there. Now let's move on to the ESPN bracket, the ESPN Score Center app. And we got a lot of games to get to really, really fast in the rivalries, so we're going to have to just hyper speed through these. But quick and dirty, Taryn, as we already know that the rankings were pretty much going to stay the same. Guess what, Taryn? They didn't. I can saw it right now. Ohio State, look at this. They moved to number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, how about them Buckeyes? I know my barber, Miss Susie Phelps, and her husband, Mike Phelps, are pretty happy about this. They're Ohio natives. And Susie actually graduated from barber school there at Ohio State. So, awesome stuff there. And Ohio State will move to number 1, LSU, number 2, Clemson, number 3, and the 4th team in Georgia. The first 2 teams out, Alabama, and would you look at this, Taryn, Utah is the current number 6 team. So, quick and dirty before we get to the rest of the rankings, what do you think about that top 5, or the top 4?
I think we need to call Kyle him. I don't understand how LSU is not number 1. How in goodness gracious Jupiter's Jingle Shoot is Ohio State number 1? I don't understand. They haven't really had too many. They haven't had too many standout wins. LSU defeated Alabama. They defeated Auburn. They play in the SEC. That's basically the division, the conference of gods right there when it comes to football. I just don't understand. I don't understand how Ohio State went from 2 to 1 with just 1 win over Penn State. Come on, man.
That is kind of weird.
Get Kylam on the phone right now.
Yeah, I think he'd have a lot to say. So here we go, guys. We have from 25 to 21, it's courtesy of the ESPN Score Center app, where I'm getting my sources from. From 25 to 21, we have Appalachian State, Virginia Tech, Iowa State, USC, and Oklahoma State. From 20 to 16, Boise State, Cincinnati, Memphis in the really cool uniforms, Iowa, and North Dakota. Wow, Notre Dame. Wow, North Dakota. Notre Dame. Okay, from 15 to 11. Auburn, Oregon, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Florida. And your current 10 through 7. Penn State, Baylor, Minnesota, and Oklahoma. And once again, your current top 4 if the college class will start tomorrow. We have number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Louisiana, or LSU. Number 3, Clemson. And number 4, Georgia. And the first 2 out, Alabama, number 5, and number 6, Utah. So if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, Ohio State would play Georgia, and LSU would play Clemson. Quick and dirty, Taryn, who you got?
I'd take LSU. I think LSU is one of the more complete teams. I think Joe Burrow is basically on another level. Ohio State is pretty good, but, once they face that SEC opponent, they might be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, I would go Ohio State over Georgia and LSU.
Yeah, that is the only exception, though.
Yeah, I would take in the Tiger Bowl here. That's usually the Tiger Bowl between LSU and Auburn. But yeah, in this version of the Tiger Bowl in the college football playoff version, at least for this year, 2019, I'm going to say Ohio State over Georgia, LSU over Clemson, and then honestly, I think LSU would probably beat Ohio State in the national championship. But okay. So, Taryn, we have a lot of games to get through. We have to get through this thing really fast. We have 30 minutes. Let's not get hung up too much. So I'm going to do the same exact thing, brother. But, okay. Yesterday, we had a couple of games. Akron, Ohio, the Bearcats over Akron, over the Zips 52-3, and Northern Illinois over Western Michigan 17-14. Tomorrow, we have a Thanksgiving game. It's pretty sweet. It's right. It's the egg, or whatever they call it. It's the battle. Their Thanksgiving battle. They have their trophy they play for. I forgot what the heck it's called. My apologies. But the 4-7 Ole Miss Rebels take on the 5-6 Mississippi State Bulldogs. Who you got, Taryn?
I got Mississippi State. If Mississippi State wants to be bowl game eligible, they need to win. Otherwise, they'll be sitting at home on the couch of sadness.
Yeah, I'm going to go Hail State as well, Matt, that they can win this thing. Okay, next up, the couch of sadness. That's cold-blooded. All right, so we got to roll through this thing, but let's get it, Taryn. Black Friday! Oh, yes! It may be a day for you retail folks to go out there and shop, but it's a day for me to enjoy some great football. And, well, it's rivalry week, y'all. Here we go. It's time to catch a lot of rivals. Taryn, let's rock and roll, man. Number 24, Virginia Tech taking on Virginia, the Who's, the Cavaliers. Both teams are 8-3. Oh, it's going to be a good one. They're actually favored by 2.5 points by the ESPN Score App. Who you got, Taryn?
I'm going with Virginia. They have the home field, and they've been more ranked, and they've had more breakout wins than normal. So I'm going to go with Virginia.
I'm going to enter Sandman. I think the Hokies are going to go on the road and pull this thing off. Texas Tech at 4-7, taking on the Longhorns of Texas at 6-5. Texas is actually favored by 10 points. What you got, Taryn? Where you got?
I got Longhorns winning. I got the Longhorns winning, just charging their way past Texas Tech.
I think so too. I think they'll be able to win this thing. So sorry, hook 'em. Sorry, not wreck 'em. It's hook 'em to this week.
Shout out to Texas.
Shout out to Texas. My bad. Next up, Bowling Green at 3-8. Buffalo at 6-5. Buffalo's favored by 28 points. Gosh dang it. Darren, who you got?
Buffalo. No debating. I ain't taking Bowling Green.
I'm with you. It's funny how I had to even call you. You realize no comment on this, but Eastern Michigan and Kent State. Kent State's 5-6. Eastern Michigan is 6-5. EMU is favored by 5 points.
I'm going to take Kent State in the upset. It's just going to be barely of an upset. I think it'll be off of a game-winning field goal or a last-minute touchdown, but I think Kent State gets the dub.
Sounds good. I'm going to go Crosby. Why? Or I'm going to go Eastern Michigan. Why? Because of Crosby from the Raiders. Just saying. Anyway, that was alma mater. Anyway, Miami of Ohio at 7-4 and Ball State at 4-7. They got Ball State favored by 3 points.
I'm going to go with Miami of Ohio. I understand that Ball State is the home team, but I think Miami's going to take it.
Yeah, I think so as well. So next up, we have Toledo at 6-5 and Michigan. I'm taking Ball State. I'm sorry, I'm taking Miami of Ohio on that one. Did you take? Wait, you took Miami, right? My bad.
Right.
Spaced. Sorry, guys. Toledo at 6-5. Central Michigan at 7-4. Central Michigan, the Chippewas are favored by 10 points.
Yeah, I'll take Central Michigan. They've had a much better year than Toledo. Toledo will be going bowling, but, Central Michigan's the better team on paper.
I think so as well. Number 17, Iowa at 8-3, and Nebraska at 5-6. You don't got to ask me for this one. Darren, what you got?
I
I was going to take Nebraska just to tick you off, but I'm taking Iowa. Iowa on paper is just too much for the Cornhuskers.
They are. I think Nebraska is too much for everybody. Oh, for a lot of teams. I'm sorry. I think Nebraska is just. I don't know how they got ranked 24 to start the season or something like that. I'm still appalled. You don't start a season off 0-6 like last year, and then you're ranked the next year. I don't care how strong they finish. I don't care who they have in their team. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying they look like crap. And then they got beat down by a lot of people this year. Whatever. Anyway, sorry. I'm not a Husker hater, but I just don't like how they were ranked. Anyway, I know it's probably because how they looked going in the season. So
they have a good volleyball team, though.
They do have a very good volleyball team. Defending national champs, right?
Runner-ups.
Runner-up. They lost to Texas?
Stanford.
That's right. Okay, so we're getting into that. It's coming up next week, guys. Stay tuned for Set Point here on iSports Radio. Great show that Mr. Taryn hosts. Great stuff, y'all. So Missouri, I'm going Iowa by the way as well. Mizzou will take on Arkansas. SEC battle. 5-6 Tigers, 2-9 Arkansas. They got Missouri favored by 12.5 points.
I'm taking Missouri over the Peppa Pigs.
That's cold, dude. The Peppa Pigs. You're cold, dude. You're cold.
I'm sorry, but I made this meme. Because one of my friends went to Texas A&M, and he's a rival. Texas A&M is a rival of Arkansas, but I gotta go with Missouri over Arkansas.
You're a cold cat. But I'm taking Mizzou as well. I like Peppa Pig, man. She's awesome. So anyway, next up we have number 19. What was that?
I said, oops.
It's all good. Then you have number 19, Cincinnati at 10-1. And do you know who they're facing, Taryn?
The team with the really cool uniforms.
The team with the really freaking cool uniforms coming out of Memphis at 10-1. And they are favored by 11-5. I'm sorry, 11-5. They are favored by 11.5 points. And Taryn, would you like to take a wild guess on who I am picking for this game?
Memphis. I'm taking Memphis too, by the way.
We're both taking Memphis. That deserves an applause button because they have really cool uniforms. I don't even care. I don't care. I mean, they're a good team. I'm not doing this solely because their uniforms are awesome, but they're a really good team. So, anyway, with that said, we have number 20, Boise State at 10-1. Colorado State at 4-7. Boise State is favored by 13.5 points.
There's no doubt I'm taking Boise State. They've just had a phenomenal year, other than that one loss to BYU.
Absolutely. Anyway, Apple Cup, 6-5, 6-5. The Cougs are going on over to Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies. The Huskies are favored by 7 points. Who you got, Taryn?
I got Washington.
I think so too. I think the Huskies are going to win this thing. It should be a good game, but I'm with the Huskies. West Virginia at 4-7. TCU at 5-6. TCU is favored by 12.5 points. My gosh.
I would pick the spoiler, but I'm going with TCU. TCU wants to go bowling, so they're going to show up and show West Virginia out.
I think they will too. I'm going Horned Frogs all day. Purple Horned Frogs. Let's get this thing. Next up, Arkansas State at 7-4. South Alabama. Well, they got coming their way. If I'm looking according to my notes, they got Tylen Jones and who did I say? Hayden Burton coming from Mississippi Gulf Coast next year to their team. So they couldn't get there fast enough. They're at 1-10 right now. So Arkansas State is favored by 11 points. Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas State, but South Alabama, they were coming. But anyway, so you're taking Arkansas State as well, man?
Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas State, no doubt about it. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, number 25, Appalachian State at 10-1 take on Troy at 5-6. Appalachian State is favored by 12.5 points.
Yeah, I'm taking App State as well. App State is much more improved, and although Troy is going to treat this as their championship game, this is their championship game to pretty much lose, unfortunately. But if they do win, that's huge because they'll be going bowling.
Absolutely. And Taryn, this next game has the coolest nickname ever, or the name of it. Do you want to know what it's called?
What is it?
It's the War on I-4! Where is the lightning and the applause? And yeah, it's awesome. So, the War on I-4, Interstate 4 in Florida. University of South Florida will take on number. I mean, I wish they were number, because, yeah, poor national champions. I really think they should have gotten the college bowl playoff a couple years ago. But anyway, we have the 8-3 Nitro the Knight. He's awesome. But the 8-3 Knights of Central Florida taking on South Florida. at 4-7. Central Florida is actually favored by 23.5 points. My gosh.
Yeah, there's no doubt Central Florida is going to win this one.
I know.
No debate.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed because I wish it would be a good game. Like, I really wish it would be a good game, but I don't think it is. I'm taking Central Florida big in this one. Next up, we have on to Saturday. So that's Friday's games. On to Saturday. So we got to make it a little snappy here. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of... Oh my gosh, there's a lot of games. Okay, well, we got to go quick. So we got to recap a little bit of this past week, too. I forgot to do that. But BYU, 7-4. San Diego State, 8-3. Who you got?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to take BYU.
Oh.
I'm going to take BYU barely.
Well, I'm going to take San Diego State because go Aztecs. Anyway, oh crap. Here it comes, Taryn. The game. That team up north versus that four-letter word. Number 1, Ohio State at 11-2. Number 13, Michigan at 9-2. Ohio State's favored by 8.5 points. Who you got?
I've got Ohio. Even John Harbaugh cannot touch Ohio State. And Michigan and John Harbaugh cannot touch Ohio State, no matter what happens.
Jim Harbaugh.
Or Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, though, dude. I just don't see it happening. Ohio State's a big, tough, nasty school. Sorry, guys. I know they're looking for the upset. It's going to be in the big house, but I just don't see it. I have Ohio State winning this game here, so my apologies, guys. The old school battles of Bo Schembechler and Woody and good old Woody, man. I mean, just amazing stuff there. Just historical guys. Okay, Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler. But anyway, we have the Battle of South Carolina. Number 3 Clemson at 11-4, taking on the 4-7 South Carolina Gamecocks. Clemson is favored by 27.5 points.
As much as I love Ryan Helinski of South Carolina, I gotta go with Clemson.
I agree. Totally. Number 4, Georgia at 10-1. We'll take on Georgia Tech at 3-8. Georgia's favored by 28.5 points. Who you got, Darren?
I got Georgia hands down.
Yeah, easy for them, I think. Sucks. Texas State at 3-8. Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, at 4-7. Coastal Carolina's favored by 7 points. I like Coastal Carolina in this one. What do you think, Darren?
Same here. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina.
Good stuff. Tulsa at 3-8. ECU at 4-7. Tulsa's favored by 5.5 points. I'm going to say ECU. Why? Because Angela, of course, iSports Hall of Famer, and of course, she's a part of our PR department. She's a diehard, and I honestly want to see her happy this week to get a victory at home, and I think she'll probably be there. So, what you got, Darren?
I got Eastern Carolina as well. I'm going to take the under.
I like it. In FIU, Florida International, 6-5, taking on the Thundering Herd at 7-4. They got Marshall winning this one by 7.5 points. What do you think, Darren? What do you think?
Tough one. I'm going to take Marshall for this one.
I like it. It should be a pretty good game. But all right, next up, Louisville at 7-4. Kentucky at 6-5. They got Kentucky by 2.5 points.
Now again, another tough one. I'm going to take Kentucky. I'll take Kentucky.
Okay, sounds good. Northwestern at 2-9. Illinois, the Fighting Illini at 6-5. They got Illinois by 8.5 points.
Yeah, I'm taking Illinois. You know, they just seemed like the much better team, and Northwestern hasn't really gotten off the ground.
Absolutely. The scrappiness of Indiana at 7-4. The Hoosiers taking on the scrappiness of Purdue, the Boilermakers, at 4-7. Indiana, they have the Indiana actually winning by 6.5 points.
Believe it or not, I'm actually going to take Purdue for this one. I'm taking the upset. Purdue is the most under-the-radar team ever. They're not up there because of their record, but they've shown they can hang with some of these teams.
That's awesome. You know, that's a good idea. Honestly, that'd be a great upset, and I think they're going to be home. They're ready to play, so I'm going to take Purdue as well in the upset. Wake Forest and Syracuse. They got Wake Forest at 8-3. Syracuse at 7-4. They got Wake by 4 points.
I'm going to take Wake Forest for this one. I just think that Wake Forest is just going to be too much for Syracuse, for the orange.
I agree. Syracuse is... I want to see them, and they're going to be in the Carrier Dome too, but I think Wake Forest will pull this thing off. Mid-Tennessee, the Blue Raiders of Mid-Tennessee, 4-7, taking on Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers at 4-7. They got the Hilltoppers winning by 8.5 points. What do you got, Darren?
Yeah, I got West Kentucky winning this one as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a battle. Charlotte at 6-5, Old Dominion at 1-10. They got Charlotte by 9.5.
Unfortunately, I gotta go with Charlotte.
I mean, nothing against Old Dominion, but Charlotte looks like the better team on paper.
Way better. I've got Charlotte as well. Wyoming, Josh Allen's old team at 7-4. Air Force, the Air Force Academy, they're going to be in Colorado Springs at 9-2. They got Air Force by 11 points.
I gotta go with Air Force. I think their receiving game and run game and their overall offensive game is just going to be better than Air Force or than Wyoming.
Yeah, I agree. The Cowboys are going to come in fighting, but I got the Air Force. The Falcons of the Air Force ultimately winning. New Mexico State at 2-9. Liberty at 6-5. They got Liberty by 14 points.
Yeah, I'm going with Liberty as well.
I agree in there. Rice at 2-9, UTEP at 1-10. Both these schools have had a tough couple of years, and they got Rice by 7 points.
Can I pick a tie? I'm just kidding. I'm taking Rice.
I'm going UTEP at home in the Sun Bowl. Next up, we have UNLV at 3-8 in Nevada at 7-4. This is, of course, upstate, south state battle, or whatever you want to call it. Upper state versus lower state, or whatever you want to call it. But this is going to be a good battle. I'm actually going to take Nevada because I just don't see UNLV giving much of a game in this one. But, hey, it's always a nice little in-state battle.
I'm just going to call this the Casino Bowl. I'm taking Nevada.
Good one, man. Next up, number 5, Alabama. The Crimson Tide at 10-1. We'll be taking on number 15, Auburn at 8-3 in the Iron Bowl. They have Alabama favored by 3 points.
That's tough. That's a very tough one. I mean, Bama is without Tua, and believe it or not, I'm going to take Auburn for this one. I'm going to take the upset.
Oh, my gosh. Well, somewhere, Bo Jackson is proud of you, even though he doesn't really listen to the show. I doubt listen to the show, actually. I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to the show. But if he does, then he's proud of you. So I'm going to go Alabama. My bad, Bo. But yeah, I just think Alabama is awesome. So, I mean, I know they don't have Tua, but I think their defense is a little too much. They're a good team. So anyway, number 12, Wisconsin at 9-2, and number 8, Minnesota at 10-1. Two teams who actually had, at some point this season, some type of college football playoff hope. Fortunately, now it's kind of it for both of them, but they got Wisconsin by 3 points on the road.
This one's very tough. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Minnesota. I'm just going to go Minnesota barely.
I agree. I think so as well. I'm going to go. I'm going to take the Badgers to win this thing on the road. They fight. This is called women's college hockey all day right here. This is that battle of the national championship last year. I don't know. We might see that again in college hockey, for women's college hockey, the WCHA, but I'm going to go Wisconsin in this one on the road. I think they'll pull it off. Baylor at number 9, Baylor at 10-1. Kansas at 3-8. They got Baylor by 14 points.
Yeah, I'm going Baylor as well. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Absolutely. Number 10, Penn State at 9-2. Rutgers at 2-9. Oh my gosh, they have Penn State by 40.5 points.
Yeah, Penn State by quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. UConn at 2-9. Temple at 7-4. They got Temple by 27 points.
Temple, no doubt.
Very simple there. Southern Miss at 7-4. FAU, the Owls at 8-3. They got FAU by 8.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go with FAU as well.
I agree with that. Next up, we have UTSA at 4-7 and La Tech at 8-3. They got La Tech by 20.5 points.
Yeah, I'm taking Louisiana Tech as well.
Pretty simple. Boston College at 5-6. Pittsburgh at 7-4. Pittsburgh by 9 points.
Yeah, I'm going with Pitt. They're going to take down those Boston College Eagles.
I think so, too. Pitt's a pretty tough team. They've proven it this whole year. Next up, we got a really cool battle. I am really excited for this one because I think it's actually going to be a good game. They have the U favored by 9 points, but I think it's going to be a lot closer, man. Miami at 6-5 and Duke at 4-7.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the U for this one. I'm going with Miami.
I'm going to go with Duke. It's going to be a good game. Maryland at 3-8. They had so much promise, and they just fell off. Michigan State at 5-6. They had some kind of promise, and they fell off kind of as usual in the last couple of years. It sucks, but they had Michigan State by 22 points. What do you think?
Okay, this one's a big important game for Michigan State. Michigan State definitely needs to win this game to be bowl game eligible. But look for Maryland to try to play spoiler, but I'm taking Michigan State.
I think it'll be awesome. I think that'll be a great game. I'm going to say Michigan State as well. Next up, we got the Civil War. Oregon State at 5-6. Number 14, Oregon at 9-2. They got Oregon by 19 points.
It would be funny to see Oregon State pull the upset. It would make them bowl game eligible, which would be very good. But unfortunately, I gotta go with Oregon.
Dude, Oregon lost to ASU last week. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have time to talk about that, but how about Herm Edwards, man? What about that performance by his Sun Devils?
Yep.
I mean, that was awesome. So, next up, number 16, Notre Dame versus Stanford. Notre Dame at 9-2, Stanford at 4-7. They got Notre Dame by 6.5 points. If this was women's basketball, oh yeah, this would be a good game. But I don't think it's gonna be a good game. I think Notre Dame's gonna eat them up like a bowl of Cheerios, man.
Yeah, Notre Dame's gonna hit Stanford with that curb stomp.
Yeah, I agree. Vanderbilt at 3-8, Tennessee at 6-5. A little Tennessee battle. They got the Vols by 21 points.
Yeah, I'm going with the Vols for this one. They're on a roll as of late.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. The Blazers, a couple years back in, they won a bowl game their first year back. Well, look at this, man. They're doing, I think, their second or third year back, so they're looking good. The Blazers are taking on the Mean Green of North Texas at 4-7. I'm sorry, Mean Green. I'm going Blazers. They got them by 3 points, and I think they're going to win it.
Yeah, and as much as I want to go with the Mean Green, I'm going with UAB.
Yeah, no Mean Green. no Mean Green this week. No. Utah State.
Sorry, Mean Green.
Right. We got a good friend of mine actually got into that school. I'm very proud of her. But, yeah, big shout out to Ms. Vivi. She's awesome. So I'm glad that she got into that school. But Utah State, 6-5. New Mexico at 2-9. They have Utah State at 11-5. By 11.5 points.
Utah State.
Yeah, poor Lobos. I got Utah State all day. Tulane at 6-5. SMU at 9-2. SMU, they have them by 3.5 points.
I'm going with SMU. Pony up.
Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. Georgia State and Georgia Southern. Georgia State gets knocked off CBU. Darn it. In basketball last weekend when I was at the RCC game, it was a close game. But hey, Georgia State. This is a good rivalry right here. Georgia State at 7-4. Georgia Southern at 6-5. They got Georgia Southern by 7 points. What you think, man?
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia Southern as well. Georgia Southern's definitely improved quite a bit.
No, I'm taking Georgia State with the upset here, but it should be a good game. I think so. Well, it's not really an upset, but they have Georgia Southern winning, so I don't know if they call that an upset. I don't know, but it should be a good game. Texas A&M, they fought hard last week. They didn't surrender. They lost, but they're 7-4. They're taking on a tough LSU team, number 2 LSU at 11-0. They have them by 17 points. I can't see this game going any other way than the Tigers' way.
Yeah, I gotta go with LSU. Sorry, Blake.
Number 23, Iowa State at 7-4. Kansas State at 7-4. They have the Cyclones by 4.5 points. Who you got?
Believe it or not, I'm gonna go with Kansas State. And if they'll win this year, they will for sure win it next year when they get Christian Moore of Huntington Beach.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, there you go, man. That's freaking sweet. We'll see. Navy at 8-2. Houston at 4-7. They got Navy by 9 points.
Yeah, Navy's going to win, no doubt.
I think
Houston,
so.
you've got a problem, and it's going to be Navy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They have 4 games up on them. I think so. All right, we have the Battle of the Carolina, or at least North Carolina. North Carolina at 5-6. NC State at 4-7. They have the UNC by 9 points. Honestly, it's going to be a good game because both these teams aren't that good. Sorry.
I'm going to go with North Carolina, to be honest, because they're 1 win away from going bowling, but if they lose, then they're going to experience a whole bunch of Michael Jordan crying memes.
Oh, it's going to suck. I'm going to say UNC as well. I'm sorry, Wolfpack. It's going to be a good game, but I'm going to say UNC. Colorado at 5-6. Go Coke Chef. Taking on number 6, Utah at 10-1. They have Utah by 28.5 points.
I mean, Colorado is coming off of a big win over Washington, and I think a bunch of USC fans are going to want to root for Colorado, but I got to go with Utah, realistically.
You know, I'm going to be one of those blind USC fans. I'm going to go Colorado in the upset.
Well, I would hope that would happen.
Right? Colorado State at 6-5. Number 11, Florida at 9-2. 17.5 points for Florida.
I'm going with Florida. Chomp, chomp all over those Knowles.
Man, me too. And honestly, okay, I know. I was trying to be serious. Well, I'm going to go Utah over Colorado. My bad. Anyway, after that, we have UL Monroe at 5-6. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns at 9-2. 19.5 points for UL Monroe. Look at that. What do you think, Darren?
As much much as I want to see UL Monroe go bowling, I gotta go with Louisiana. Louisiana's gonna cook UL Monroe like a pot of hot boiling gumbo.
Well, Taryn definitely liked that, and I mean, I would like that if I was in the South. So, I'm sorry, and it was 19.5 points for Louisiana, not UL Monroe. My bad. Then we have of course, the game of the week, actually, I'm sorry, that actually was the game of the week. Saturday Night Football, Colorado at Utah. My bad. So that's actually the ABC game of the week. Not much to elaborate on that one, though. We just kind of got to get through tonight. We only have 7 minutes left, so we're doing good on time. We only got a few more games. Next up, we have number 7 Oklahoma at 10-1, taking on Oklahoma State at number 21 Oklahoma State at 8-3. This is, I mean, I think the Big 12 championship has pretty much already been decided, if I'm not mistaken. But Oklahoma's actually favored this one by 13.5 points. Rivalry game should be a fun one. Is it going to be the Sooners or the Pokes? Boomer Sooner or the Pokes? What you think?
I'm taking Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, I'm taking Boomer Sooner as well. The duel in the desert. At least I remember that's what they used to call that in the old NCAA games back on PlayStation 2. But 4-7 Arizona, 6-5 Arizona State. They have Arizona State by 13.5 points. And you know what? After that victory from Herm Edwards last week, Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils over Oregon, I honestly think they're going to win this thing as well. What do they call it? The Territorial Cup or whatever it's called? I'm going to go with the Sun Devils winning this thing. What do you think, Terry?
Same here. I'm going with Arizona State.
Should be a good game, man. Next up, we got Cal at 6-5, UCLA at 4-7. Funny little story here. I don't know how true it is, but from what I understand, there used to be an old coach from Cal that got the new job at UCLA when the school opened. End of the story is, I think it was, he used to call the practice, or they used to call the practice squad the Bruins, because the Bears were the Golden Bears were actually the mascot for, of course, are the mascot for Berkeley. So they used to call the practice squad, or like the scout team, the Bruins. And funny, that coach moved on to UCLA. He got the job, and wouldn't you know it, I think he had a part in calling them the Bruins. I don't know how true that story is. I heard it before, but crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
So we have Cal at 6-5. UCLA at 4-7, and well, they have UCLA by 1.5 points. What do you think?
I'm taking Cal. Chase Garbers is 100% back, and he proved it against Stanford yesterday, or last week, with that game-winning touchdown run. So the King of Corona Del Mar is going to reign over UCLA.
I think so, too. I would like to say UCLA, and it was only 1.5 points, not 1.5 points. My bad, guys. Bad grammar, or whatever you want to call it, but bad pronunciation. But anyway, next up, I'm going to say Cal over UCLA as well. Fresno State at 4-7, San Jose State at 4-7. They have Fresno State by 3 points.
I'm taking Fresno State.
I'm taking the Bulldogs as well. Next up, in the last game on the docket, it's going to be the late night game because it's in Hawaii. So really late if you're on the East Coast, late-ish on the West Coast, and pretty early, or regular time for Hawaii. Army at 5-6, taking on the 8-4 Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii. They got Hawaii favored by 2.5 points. So you got, Taryn?
This one's going to be tough. Army definitely really needs this game. You know, they definitely want to be in the bowl game. They don't want to be sitting on the couch of sadness seeing Navy go bowling. I gotta go with Hawaii, but in a close one.
I'm totally with you on that, dude. And I'm going to say Hawaii wins this one. I think they'll win it, not handedly, but I think they'll win by at least a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns. But anyway, USC doesn't have a game this week, but can we just get a hand clap? The victory bell goes back to USC, to South Central. Get to USC. Very proud. Pulled it off last week. We're going to close it with this, Taryn. I know we said it on the defining moment, but real quick for this show, Clay Helton. He's leaving it up to God. He's leaving it up to, he's at peace. I heard the commentator saying that he's at peace with himself. It is what it is. And you know what, man? I think it is what it is, too. Thank you for your time there. If this is it, and if not, he gets another chance. And you know what? I'm behind him 100%. Taryn, what you got to say about that, man?
I mean, it is what it is, you know. I definitely got to thank Clay Helton for his time at USC, and you know he helped the Trojans get through some dark times, especially back with Sam Darnold. But overall, you know, it might be time to move on. But again, thank you, Clay Helton, for everything.
I agree, and I hope he sticks around because, you know, hey, everybody deserves a second chance. Or everybody deserves, you know, I mean, I don't know, it could be a full-on chance because if he didn't get a chance to,
or at least make him an assistant coach if possible.
Yeah, I mean, something. I mean, that'd be kind of tough. But if he would be able to do that, but you know, regardless, I guess, you know, once again, thank you, Clay Helton, for your time. But regardless, I just hope that he gets another chance. Why? Because
I have been hearing that the new AD.
Coach Bond is on board with keeping Clay Helton, but we'll see.
I like that, and I think they should give him another chance, man. Give him another year. If it's bad again, well, then it is what it is. But with that said, y'all, that will do it. I am off to my gosh, got to get a quick workout in get ready for 3 and Out. That's coming up at my gosh, we have an hour because this show started 5 minutes late. My apologies. I'm late to everything. I gotta freaking get back. I gotta get on time. But anyway, so we got an hour until 3 and Out starts, the second half, or the part 2 of our Thanksgiving edition. We're gonna get ready, give you the picks for this coming Sunday, and of course, we got to give 2 primetime face-offs for Sunday Night Football and for Monday Night Football. Should be some good stuff, guys. So with that said, that will do it. Taryn, we had a really great show today, man. That was good stuff. We've been on air a lot together over the last at least the last couple of days. Yesterday, for the defining moment, and today here on 3 and Out College Edition. But hey, man, any last words for today? And of course, don't forget to plug yourself, man. Let all these diehard football fans know where to find you, man.
So you can find me on Twitter at Taran Rodriguez1. Teran is my first name. Rodriguez has a G in it, and then the number 1. Yesterday when I checked the fantasy football app, I saw it's quite saddening and with quite joy, I will announce that no one is starting Antonio Brown in fantasy football anymore. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make jokes about the people that start Antonio Brown in fantasy football, but I will say that some people took my advice. And if you didn't, then good for you.
Awesome stuff, man. Well, with that said, Darren, it's been fun, man. It is on to next week. I will see you then when we get ready. Of course, we got set point next week. I know we got to get back on for the defining moment next week and another edition of 3 and Out College Edition. But hey, man, it's been fun, and for you listeners, it has been fun. So cue the music, because we're out of here. With that said, y'all, I got to give a huge shout out, of course, to our awesome guests today. Once again, Mr. Aaron Smith and Gary Bryant. Awesome players there out of Corona Centennial High School. Also, big ups to all of our listeners for today. It has been an awesome week so far, and it's not over yet, so we got plenty to come, especially in a little bit. 3 and Out, part 2 of the 2019 NFL Thanksgiving edition of 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio. With that said, y'all, that will do it for tonight, or for today, that is. Stay tuned for 3 and Out coming up in about an hour, y'all. Let's get ready. Make sure to follow us all as a whole at IE Sports Radio, at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, and on Instagram at IE Sports Radio. Give us a like on Facebook. We certainly like that. I got to get that page back up and running. My bad. It's really behind, so I just got to start it over. Or just, get it going there. You can check us out at iSportsRadio.com, and check me out. Of course, you can follow me, your boy Larry B, at the CHEE_LB53. Once again, that is the CHEE_LB53. We'll see y'all next week, college football fans, with another edition of 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you next week, y'all. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.